What's happening, guys? Just before we start this week's episode, I want to let you know, if you love this podcast and you want more of it, you can get an extra episode every single week exclusively on patreon.com/haveawordpod. If you don't know what Patreon is, it's basically a way for you to financially support this podcast whilst also getting some benefits for yourself in return. You can sign up for £3 a month, £5 a month, £10 a month, and obviously the more money you give, the more benefits you get. But even if you just sign up for that £3 a month, which is the price of a fancy coffee or a pint in a shit boozer, you get an extra episode every single week, exclusive. No one else gets to see it apart from the Patreons. And you also get 24 to 48 hours early access to the public episodes as well. That's what you get. And on top of all of that, you get access to the entire back catalogue of the Patreon episodes. We've been doing that for like a year now. There's loads of content there. There's also the 2 lockdown lock-ins we did in this room where we got dead drunk. They only go on Patreon. The ones we do in the future of them will only go on Patreon. If you support us, you get shitloads of content for us, and you can only get it at patreon.com/haveawordpod. Go sign up now. Pause it here, sign up, and then come back to this episode. It's going to be a belter.
Clock.
Welcome to the Have a Word studio with me, Adam Rowe, Dan Nightingale, Carl Riegler, and Finn.
Finn Kulovlovlos. Kulavulus. He's Welsh. Kulavuza.
Hey, do you believe in seasonal defective disorder?
Seasonally affected disorder. Oh, it's got dark and I feel sad.
Yeah. Do you...
I've got small windows and a tree outside. I don't get any fucking light.
Yeah.
No, then.
Well, well, when I studied psychology at A-level, and when I first heard about this, right?
Studied. No. You sat in the class when psychology was being taught. You
registered.
Yeah.
Go on.
Like, when I first heard about it, I just thought it was like a lazy doctor cop-out. Do you know what I mean? Like, my wife left me, my dog's died, my kids ate me. Why am I sad? It's fucking raining, innit? Like,
Yeah.
I always thought that was, like, bad. But then, today on the way in, I've noticed that I'm in a really good mood.
Yeah.
And it's sunny. But I have already come today as well.
Oh.
Manually?
Oh.
So I don't know whether it's the sun or my balls, but I'm happy.
I know I wear the headphones because I just want to check that the sound's all right. I've still got the old production values in my head. But I don't need those words in my ears as much as that happened then. Ooh, that was a lot.
It's 20
I thought
to
we
2.
were doing a genuine, let's talk about psychology and seasonally affective disorder.
No, I do want to do that.
It's sunny. Plus, I emptied my little rowie bags of all the jizz. Dan, thoughts?
But I do want to talk about it. Do you think it's a real thing? Because music changes my mood as well. If it's sunny and I've got the tunes blaring, like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
I think, but aren't they all just like little top-ups to your core mood? Like, if your dad drops dead, you're like, oh my God, I just didn't expect it. I'm going to miss him so much. Oh, Top Liner. Fucking hell, I love a bit of Top Loader. Dancing in the moonlight. What about your dad? Never mind. My jams come on the radio. Like, I think it can add to your mood, but I don't think it can change it completely.
Are you telling me you've never seen anyone dance at a funeral?
No, I'm just saying. No, I've never seen anyone dance at a funeral.
Have you not?
No. At a funeral.
At the service.
No.
No, at the wake.
Yeah.
That's still part of the funeral.
No, it's not. It's the wake. It's the wake.
It's the funeral. Why is it called a wake?
Right.
Just a no.
Fucking bear jokes, mate. Bear jokes. So no, I've not seen anyone dance at a funeral. I've seen people pissed afterwards at like the get together in like a licensed premises. So yeah, I know what you mean. You're like, oh, my mood's so great today. I think I must have been suffering from seasonally affected disorder. But what could be happening is you got laid, you've had a coffee, the sun's out, and you're coming to do a fun job. And then you're like, fuck, thank God for that. I've got over my seasonally affected disorder that I never knew I had. Like,
I've just decided in this moment that I want people to dance at my funeral.
Right.
I will. Anyway. Conga, cha-cha slide.
But imagine if you hired diversity to
throw your body around.
to fucking
Oh
put
my
you
God.
in the ground, spinning the coffin, throwing it to the little midget one.
That was just a young child. It wasn't a midget.
How much do you have to pay Diversity to do their like dance routine with a cadaver? That's probably going to add to the fee in it. Like, guys, I know you're pretty famous in terms of UK dance troops, the most famous. Do you do private functions? Yeah, for the right price. Do you do funerals? Yeah, but it's going to cost you. We've not finished. There's more. You've got to throw ROWE bags around.
In the coffin, though.
Yeah, they're the pallbearers.
Yeah, they're the pallbearers, yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And they're just like fucking...
Boom, boom, boom. Let me hear you say, well. And then the fucking top comes off. Well. You've got you on a bit of string. Well.
Yeah.
But I've
Call it
really...
Weekend at Rowies, and I get on fucking...
really referenced some random old tunes, having a top loader dancing in the moonlight. And
But imagine how good that'd be.
boom.
People remember your funeral forever. You know what I mean? You could stream it, charge for it, pay for the cost of hiring Diversity.
yeah.
You could.
Have you thought about what you want for your funeral? Seriously. I mean, not seriously. It's a comedy podcast. But when you kill yourself next winter because your seasonally affected disorder comes back like a motherfucker, you're like, God,
But I like snow as well.
oh, God. He's such a little sweetie.
I've got a lamp in ours, a sad lamp.
A sad lamp.
Yeah.
Got it for Mum for Christmas because she works at home, so she's working at home in the horrible.
What's the light that it's emitting? It's not just the normal UV from a
It's vitamin L, I think.
All right.
Something like that. So
It's a fancy bulb.
It's a big, huge like thing.
Light box.
It's meant to replicate sunlight. So when you put it in the room, it looks like a bright sunny day, and it helps Mum's mood. So
That's boss. That
They are nice. They are.
yeah, they're great.
I want one of them.
Lumi, it's called. If you want to have a look, Lumi,
I
they're
want
great.
one of them for my car. And then no matter what the weather's like, it'll always be sunny.
Just the weirdest souped up car. Is that a Kia Sportage? Fucking light blaring.
It'd be good though, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I have thought about what I want for my funeral. I definitely don't want to be burnt. I definitely want to go in the ground. Because, like...
You better die quick then, because I think by the time you're an old man, I'm not even sure you'll be allowed to be buried.
Why?
There's no room.
I just think inevitably
What if I
there
just
will
get
be
buried in my own back garden? They can't tell me I can't go in my own back garden.
Yeah, it's not your garden anymore, though, is it?
Well, I'll put it in the will that my fucking kid can only have the house if they bury me in the back garden.
Right. Just under the
So
paddling
you just send me problems and I just fucking knock them down, don't I?
Why do you want to get buried rather than cremated?
Because there's been like instances, hasn't there, where people have woke up in the coffin.
No,
There has.
not one.
There has.
Done.
Yeah, woke up in the coffin. I'd rather be burnt, to be honest, because what kind of fucking hell is that? Being 6 foot under, tapping like,
You're not getting out.
guys, it's been a mistake. I was just taking a big old fucking nap.
No, but like at least there's a chance that someone hears you and you get to get out.
And if they don't hear you, oh, what an awful last few hours that is.
Well, is that better than being burned alive while you're having a heavy
Listen,
kip?
you're out. You're out, unless you don't know about it. You're having a kip, you never wake up.
I also believe that like it's possible when you get to the afterlife, if there is one, that whatever form you dealt with in is what you go there. And I don't want to turn up to heaven as an urn.
Just rather a dead person.
I love your reasoning. You sound like a knobhead, but I love your reasoning. Like there's all this fucking cutlery tapping around heaven like, yep, shouldn't have got cremated, should you dickheads? Here come the urns. Bum, 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 bum. Like something out of Beauty and the Beast. Little walking urns. Fucking hell.
That's why I'm not going to like donate like a liver or a heart or
You
something. I
don't-
don't want to get up there and be like, I haven't got a fucking kidney anymore.
Our
Right,
liver or our heart.
You don't go to heaven. But if you do, you don't go in the state you died, because no one in heaven wants to see the guy who got accidentally hit by a fucking train at the pearly gates. He's like, "Ah! Ah!" And St. Peter's like, Jesus Christ, mate, you got to stand back off the platform, you fucking idiot.
Why would he be giving him that advice? Now that
Literally
it's
got
literally
He's
useless
got
to him.
virgin fucking plastered on his cheek. Head's hanging off. What a fucking state that is. So I don't think you have to worry about that. I've got to go perfect. And also, let's be honest, don't, dress in something you just, if you're going to end up in heaven with it, dress in like, jogging bottoms. That's why I wear them all the time. So if I get murdered, I'm in heaven in comfy clothing, you know?
Hey,
That's right, though, because ghosts have always got like the dresses on that they died in and that, haven't they?
Yeah.
do you know when you were little, did your parents and grandparents say, make sure you've got clean underwear on in case you get hit by a car?
Yeah.
What a stupid thing.
Yeah.
Did you never hear that?
Yeah, it used to be, I used to get told make sure you're clean underwear on in case you have an accident.
Yeah, well,
And then I always thought, well, if I have an accident, I've shit my pants anyway, haven't I?
exactly. You're not getting run over and going, oh, fuck.
But I thought accident meant poo your pants. I didn't think it meant get hit by a car.
That was in case like they have to take your pants off because you've been hit by a
But
car.
old people were fucking weird like that, weren't they? Like,
Yeah.
you need to wear clean underwear. Why? Well, if you get killed, you don't want some fucking mortician feeling nauseous about your shitty knickers. Like, I don't care.
Also, why did we ever have to be told to put clean underwear on? Surely that should be like the basic of human cleanliness is clean undies.
When you're little, though.
Yeah, but kids are grubby, aren't they? Kids are grubby.
Yeah. I always feel dirty. Do you ever put socks back on? Do you know, like, let's say you've gone for like a little midday shag and you've took your socks off and then you're going back out.
You need to make your stories more relatable to my life. I have a wife so heavily pregnant.
Yeah, but like back in the day.
Back in my head.
Yeah.
You can tell he's getting laid loads, can't you? Like, I thought I'd SAD, but then I got fucking laid. Do you ever need to change your socks because you had sex with an attractive lady?
No, but what I mean is, you know, like when you were back as a fucking shagger, right?
Back in the fucking day.
Right. If you sort of,
Shagger.
if you had sex in the middle of the day, but then you were putting your clothes back on because you had to go shopping or to, I don't know, deposits to check, right? Then would you
Or sign up for the First World War? What the fuck? You're such a cunt to me, aren't you? That was a totally valid question about wearing dirty socks, and it became, you're an old bastard. What? Dan, you know what it's like? You might have gone and have sex with, a fair maiden, and then you've got to put a check in or some other old-timey thing, or, you've got to sign up for World War I because you want to fight with the boys and, kill the Kaiser.
Right. So you've had sex, you're on your way to send your postal order, right?
to give 2 bags of flour to the Earl.
Send off for the last 5 stickers in your Panini album, right? Did you ever do that? Send off for the last few stickers in a footy sticker book.
I don't think I ever got
Keep
close
on
to
track,
that one.
guys. Come on, we're getting to something. How did Panini come into that? Fucking ADHD boy. Yo, let me ask you a question. Did you do Panini? Go on, Adam.
So you've had sex.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. But your horse and cart is outside.
And the horse and cart's outside.
And the horses are getting tired, so you've
Yeah.
got to take them for some dinner, right? So you got to put your clothes back on. Would you put fresh socks on or the same dirty socks that you've took off to have sex in, assuming you did take your socks off and you didn't leave them on?
How long have I had them on for? 4 or 5 hours?
So this is at like 3 p.m. in the afternoon and you've been up since like 7. So you've done like, you've been out and about.
Yeah.
You've done a big shop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. You've been in the hospital, made sure all your parents are getting over the polio and that.
Yeah.
Right?
And then I'm in the mood for a shag. Big shop, hospital trip, horse and cart outside, someone getting pounded. This milkmaid getting some fucking dick milk. Yeah, okay. I would, at that point, I would do international rules. I think we all know what's coming. The sniff test.
The sniff test.
I'd be like...
So... They smell all right, but they're a bit damp.
Nah, they're getting changed then.
Really?
I fucking hate that dampy, sweaty. Yeah, if they're fine. Like, when I was younger, I had pongy feet, but I've sort of grown out of it. I don't know if it's like a hormonal thing. I also know what socks are just like. Sometimes, like, when you've got pongy feet, like, just check what socks you're getting, because there's some socks just don't suit your feet. So I'm not too bad, but I'm honestly, if you do a little bit of a sniff test, just get it in the fucking wash.
My cousin Danny, who watches and likes this podcast, has got the worst smelling feet in the history. It constantly smells like he's walked in baby sick.
Oh. You know, I thought of you recently, Carl, because... is the camera gone? Fucking hell. You were saying about when you got back from Japan about taking your shoes off.
Yeah.
And like, why doesn't everyone do it? And you're like, yeah, it's minging having your shoes on inside, but I do it all the time. I'm like, so like I've got sliders and I use them sometimes But I don't feel right unless I've got shoes on. But I will walk outside and then I walk upstairs in the house where there's carpet. And that is objectively minging.
Why?
Because there's stuff on the floor outside that
You don't want on your carpet.
You don't know. Yeah, you don't know how clean it is. Like dogs, whatever. It's not going to be definitely clean, is it? And then the only argument I've got in my head for just keep people come round and you're like, this is a no shoes household, and you've got someone like your cousin Danny who's got stinking feet. I would rather have the risk of dog piss on the carpets upstairs than have to live with putting up with someone's stinky feet. And also for them, because they're going, oh, my fucking feet stink.
When I first went round so my feet, they're not the smelliest in the world, but every now and then there's a problem because I can be a sweaty man at times, right?
When you're going for your mid-morning shags.
And it does play on my mind. So the first time I went round to meet my girlfriend's parents in their house, I got a shower before I went. And then, I was sort of ready half an hour before I was going. Because, I was anxious and, you just got to get ready and bit of a big deal and that. And I changed my socks and then sprayed them all over with aftershave and deodorant. I sprayed my feet with deodorant and I sprayed my socks with aftershave. So that, if I got there and they were, shoes off, I'd be like, fucking sauvage, bitch.
But that's experience and now, isn't it? Going, listen, I like her, I can't appall them, and I know I can have smelly feet. That's just clever game, innit?
Yeah.
A year.
Players gonna play.
2 years down the line, you're like, listen, I got a fucking mortgage with her. Feet off. Get on that. I've married her. Fuck you. Breathe it in. Yeah, you are crying. Yeah, that's good. That's knowledge.
It's the same with restaurants, though. You don't go into restaurants with your shoes on either in Japan.
What?
If you go into a job,
there's carpets everywhere, though, isn't it? It's very carpeted culture, isn't it?
It's tatami, so it's like a wood floor. Carpet.
So you're telling me if I go to Nando's in Japan, I've got to go barefoot?
If you go to Nando's in Japan, I'll say, how did you find Nando's in Japan? But if you go into McDonald's, no. But when you go in, you take your shoes off, you leave them in the Genkan.
I don't think that'll ever catch on over here, because I don't think town centre Spoons is the place you want to take your shoes off.
You get slippers. Everyone's got slippers there.
Imagine, you looking at my fucking bird? Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. I'll fucking bang you out, mate. Shuffle, shuffle. Just their flip-flops. It's kicking off. Yeah.
Is it what do you miss most about Japanese culture?
You
know what I mean?
Good question.
You can have a think about it if you don't want to answer straight away, but I know you miss being over there. But what is it about that place and those people that you like?
Probably just that everybody's just nice to each other and respectful. Whereas
highest suicide rates in the world though, so maybe happiness, being nice to other people leads to misery.
No, it's not, isn't it? It's just not having an outlet. There's no passive aggressiveness and there's no aggressiveness. But obviously, say you piss me off in the street.
Yeah.
You might go, fuck's sake. Or you'd say something. They won't do that.
They keep it inside and then it eats them and then they kill themselves.
Well, yeah.
Adam, because he's seen one stat about suicide, is everyone in Japan kills themselves. So they don't get to have a fucking argument on the street and then they all top themselves. That's
the most important.
No one dies of old age in Japan. They're all dead by 50.
Have you ever seen an old Japanese person?
Good point. I haven't. Great. They're all suicide, yeah.
I've seen thousands of them.
Yeah, but you've been there.
But yeah,
you're looking for them.
They're number one.
I think there's a big Japanese, loads of Japanese. Have you been to the Japanese Quarter in Runcorn? Oh,
they're number
you
one.
won't find a Nando's there.
Why is there no Japantown? You know, there's Chinatown in every major city in the UK. Why is there no Japantown or other country town?
Because you know how immigration works, don't you?
Yeah. So why is there no fucking Romania town or fucking Poland town?
It's just a numbers game.
Yeah, there's just more.
China was dirt poor, and they exported people. They're still doing it, aren't they?
Yeah.
With what's the biggest expat student population in this country? It's Chinese by a fucking mile, isn't it?
If you go to the end of Liverpool, city centre where hot water is, every 4th, 5th person's a Chinese student.
No, they're not. That is so...
There's a lot of Chinese students, though,
it's
isn't
not
it?
every 4th person.
I worked there, and I live in the city.
Every 4th person.
On
No.
on Hardman Street.
absolutely
on Harman
fucking
Street.
is.
I'm not. You can get lost in the numbers. Maybe not every fourth or fifth person. There is a lot of Asian students on that strip.
I worked there, remember, every day.
There is a lot of Asian students, but every fourth or fifth person, just the idea of that image in my head is hilarious.
Yeah.
Just go there then. You don't have to. You can just see it with your eyes.
I honestly, if that was the case, it would only be a matter of time before Freddie Quinn started a Mandarin comedy night at Hot Water. I'm on TikTok and I'm doing a Chinese podcast. I want to paint a letter.
What are you doing?
I'm just going to sort this camera out while you continue doing your job being funny.
Can I just say, talking about the cleanliness of feet, it's my biggest thing that I want to give to young men who are trying to get their willies touched. Clean yourself and your clothes.
Yeah.
This is massively important. You know, if you're a bellend, it's very hard to change your personality.
Do you know what's really...
But you can wash your knob.
I was thinking last night...
Genuinely good advice.
I was thinking last night about... there was an episode of MTV Cribs that I watched when I was a kid. And there was this big black American footballer guy. Right? And there's a moment... And I think about it like all the time. Like since I've only ever seen it once. And I reckon I've thought about this at least once a week since I was about 12. Right? And I don't know really why. But like he was... He, in the episode of MTV Cribs, he was like washing his face and spraying himself with like aftershave and stuff. And he said, my uncle, he always said to me, son, if you're clean and smelling good, someone gonna like you. That's it. That's always stuck with me, that. Be clean and smell good. And it doesn't matter how much of a cunt you are or how big your head is. People will like you.
I really think when people are like, I'm so single, I'm just terrible with girls, have you brushed your fucking teeth and have a shave or just sorted yourself out?
Yeah.
Like, give it a go. Give it a try. It's not going to solve every problem.
Especially as you get towards 30. Because...
Oh, fuck yeah. I'm in my head, I'm talking to 21-year-olds. If you can't wash yourself by 30, I don't want to wash myself.
No, but like I think there's a lot of lads who certainly like, you know, the whole sort of nice guy thing and like, oh, girls tell me I'm too nice and stuff like that.
Right.
As you get towards like 30 and all those girls who like, he's too nice, they've been in like 3 or 4 relationships then where the lad's being a cunt and they just want a nice guy. So wash your fucking bumhole, right? Brush your teeth and just keep being nice to people and eventually someone will touch your dick.
But you're going to wash everything else as well. Sorry, mate, you stink a bit. What? My teeth are clean and my arsehole is fucking spotless. Yeah, but your pits, never mind them. I've been listening to Adam Rowe and he gives good advice. So you think play the long... Yeah, okay, yeah. I know what you mean.
Stay being a nice guy and stay clean and eventually a beautiful woman who wouldn't have gone near you when you were 19 will walk into your life and chew your penis.
Yeah. I think when you're at college age, starting university... being a bit of a rascal to women, it's really good techers.
Yeah.
If you're too nice then, also just be yourself. But yeah. I was a bit of a knob, like, I'm interested, let's go for a drink. I'm not bothered. And it would be maddening to girls. I wasn't like negging or just being fucking horrible, but I was like inconsistent, flighty, and it just girls were like, oh my God, I don't get it. He's pissed me off, and they're so into it. If you're still doing that in your early 30s, you're going to end up with a fucking bell end because by then everyone's grown up and they're like, oh no, you're a moron.
Well, in that sort of window of me being single after my last relationship and before I started seeing the girl I'm seeing now, like I spoke to a few different girls and the amount of men out there who are just horrible cunts.
Yeah.
Or at least from the perspective of the girl they've been seeing have been a horrible, horrible cunt. Just really bad, nasty people. There's so many that eventually, if you're just a dead nice person, like, that'll be enough.
Yeah, when I met Laura, I was slightly overweight, bald, fairly decent at comedy, but like stood next to me, people were happy to go. Like, she's attractive enough that people are like, you've done well. to my face in front of both of us.
Yeah.
Which is basically going, she's fitter than you deserve. It's a socially acceptable way of going, mate, I don't know what you've got in your bank account, what your chat's looking like.
Do you take that as a compliment or as a...
No, it's not a compliment, is it?
No, sorry, I don't mean compliment, but like, do you see it...
though.
I don't see it as a negative. I'm like, yeah, fucking...
No, I don't see it as a negative.
I'm not being rude here. I'm trying to find something very specific. Carry on. I am listening.
Because essentially what someone's saying is, you've got yourself a beautiful partner. Well done, mate. P.S., I don't think you deserve someone that beautiful. Part of the reason I think I ended up with Laura is because she was with such a fucking rat bag on and off for 5 years before we met. She'd been single for like a year and a half, and he was such a douchebag. And she tells the stories of him, and it's almost annoying hearing them, because even though it was nothing to do with me, I wasn't in her life, still obviously care about her. She's my wife. I love her to bits. And it annoys me that she's ever let someone get away with that bullshit in her life. It's helped me end up with her, but I wish I could just go and sort of break his ankle.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean.
I don't want to kill him. I just
because
want to
even though it was in her past, someone has hurt someone you love. That's part of it.
And I'm frustrated with her
for letting it happen.
Yeah,
for being. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Because listen, we've all come across wrongings in our life, and I'm sure if you go back long enough, there's some girls that know girls who are like, well, he was like this and you did that to my friend. But there is a level, I was like mid-table championship dickhead. Like, I was annoying, frustrating. I cheated on a couple of girls. I was, just wasn't an exemplary example of a young single man. But then there is like Champions League cunt.
Oh, yeah.
And it's really annoying to have to think about like why, if it was just over a month or 2 months, fair enough. I'm like, how is he still around 4 or 5 years?
Yeah.
Because you're in love with someone, even though you know they're toxic. You've like enabled that person to be toxic, and you're like, oh. But in the end, I've ended up with Laura, so it's worked out great. But
totally, the reason I went on my phone is because you mentioned you and Laura stood next to each other. Now, on Valentine's Day, I was tagged in a story post by my girlfriend saying Happy Valentine's Day, so I reciprocated and said Happy Valentine's Day to this beautiful morning. So there was 2 pictures of me and my girlfriend on Instagram, and I got a couple of messages going, fucking hell, lad, punching you, aren't you? Right?
Yeah.
Which is, I don't see that as an insult at all.
Not at all.
Like, what that's saying to me is, you must be doing something to attract someone that beautiful.
Also, we're realists. Realists.
But this was my favourite one. John, do you want to read that one out? That's the only message this person has ever sent me.
So they've quote messaged you with the picture.
Yeah.
Just to let you know what exactly they're talking about. Your dick must have good girth to length ratio. And that is...
It does not.
And that is the response. Like, literally, he's looked at that picture and gone, yeah. I follow Adam. I'm, a big fan of the podcast, and I really enjoy. I've actually saw him on tour. Really enjoy, and I'm happy that he's met someone. But she's so annoyingly attractive compared to him. I've got to talk about another man's dick in a private message. So this guy has slid into your DMs to say you must have a big dick, because he's just so like confused.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's not that, is it? Got ROWE Games, mate.
ROWE Games? That's a new one, isn't it?
So annoying.
Call me ROWE Game?
If you could just time travel and fucking plant some motherfucker. The problem with that is, if I time travelled and had to deal with him, he's probably about 6 foot and harder than me. So I've time travelled to like get twatted.
Yeah, but like, do you know when like I think of stuff like that when I'm in love with someone and someone from their past has hurt them like really badly and done something horrendous? Like, I know we joke about it a lot on this, but I go straight to like torture and murder. Like, I don't just want to punch them in the face. I want to tie them to a chair and get some bolt cutters and one by one cut all their toes off and feed them to them.
Right. But could you?
I feel like I could.
I think with the right amount of rage, I could shoot someone in the head and then be like, ow, that didn't feel great. And then I just click out and I'm back in 2021. Like, but I don't know if I could go through a full torture scene of like, okay, toe number 6.
No, I feel like I could. Like, I watched Law-Abiding Citizen. Have you seen Law-Abiding Citizen?
No.
So,
Great film.
Oh, is it?
Oh, great film.
Who's that with?
it's Gerard Butler and Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting fact about it.
Right.
Jamie Foxx and Gerard Butler were meant to play the opposite roles, and both of them met with each other and were like, I should be playing your role, you should be playing mine.
Oh.
And the director agreed to let them swap.
Good choice as well.
Yeah, it's great. It's
So
such a
what
good film.
happens is there a torture scene?
So this doesn't ruin too much for you.
Okay.
It's sort of the first 15 minutes of the film, maybe. So there's a burglary at Gerard Butler's house. Gerard Butler's got a wife and a child, and his wife and child are murdered. His wife is very heavily sexually assaulted by one of the burglars. Jamie Foxx is a lawyer, and he is the prosecution.
No, he's defence. He's defence for the murderers. Oh, no, sorry, you're right. He's prosecution, but he lets them get off with a deal, doesn't he?
He gives them a deal sort of thing because it's the best thing to do legally, but that really pisses Gerard Butler off. So a few years later, Gerard Butler finds the one burglar who cut the deal so he didn't go to prison, and he ties him to an operating table, cuts his tongue off, injects him with a thing which paralyzes you, but does nothing to your nervous system. So you can't move, but you feel everything. And I watched that scene, and I can totally, how I put myself in everything I watch, like I'm in it. I could totally be Gerard Butler. If someone raped my wife and killed my daughter, like I could totally tie them to an operating table and do literally anything to them and feel zero remorse.
Wow. Yeah. I think I'd kill, but I don't think I'd draw it out.
No, I think I'd just dick.
Really?
Yeah.
Nah, I'd do shit like
Salt Bay.
I'd like unplug his freezer when he went to bed. Fucking annoying that. Just shit that.
Imagine how annoying it would be to be tortured to death by Adam Rowe, as he'd like cut one finger off and then there'd be a notification on his phone. He'd be like 25. He'd be no tongue like, kill me! Kill me, you bastard! Kill me! He's like, fuck off, lad. Just got another Patreon sign up. In my head, I'm just like, you kill my wife, you kill my daughter, I'll end your life. Adam's like, I'm going to draw this out because I've got Insta, I've got people talking about my dick in my private messages.
But that's not enough to just kill them, in my eyes, because if they've killed your wife and daughter and left you alive, right, your suffering is endless, isn't it? You're going to suffer and hate that and feel those emotions for the rest of your life. And I know you haven't got that long left, but like...
Yeah, so
we'll meet again.
So do stuff every day to do his head in. Like put
it's not
super
about
glue
doing...
in.
No, it's not
No,
about
and at the end,
minor
kill him.
inconveniences.
What? Carl, what was that? No. Draw it out. Sign him up for a load of spam emails. Get him gradually.
So what you should do for that, around Halloween, put someone's number on Gumtree for free pumpkins.
Yeah, you love going for that, don't you?
It's meant to be fire.
He's killed wife and child, and you're like, right, I'm going on Gumtree for my revenge, Gumtree.
No.
There is pumpkins at this address.
Put super glue in his car key thing, and then at the end kill him.
How many? There's so that pumpkins on Gumtree, little to do list. Pumpkins on Gumtree, super glue in car, and then murder him. So you just build up in terms of the annoyance.
For like 10 years, like battered his wife and shit.
No, because his wife hasn't done anything wrong.
No, Carl.
All right then.
Jesus Christ! You really went from Gumtree to twatting his wife. Way too.
Yeah, but he killed your wife.
Yeah, I know.
No,
That's not how it works, is it? That doesn't mean she's then guilty. He's the one who has to suffer. So you do. Limb from limb.
Yeah, but isn't it an eye for an eye? Make him feel the same pain, like push his wife down the stairs.
No,
and shit?
no.
Yeah, I tell you that Japanese culture really rubbed off on you, didn't it, Carl? Oh, it rubbed off amazingly. Yeah, if they bump into each other,
not a wife
street.
for a wife. Go on. I do it to myself.
And there was a pause when he thought of it. He went, pulling the trigger on this one. These lads can't
Break
miss out
into
on
his
this one.
house and turn his alarm off on his phone.
Oh my God!
He'll be late for work.
There is no middle ground with you in there. Super glue in his car door. Turn his alarm off. Murder his kids. Am I right?
Yeah, calling a bomb threat
Yeah.
in his house.
All right.
Just
Yeah. Well, I think we've done well, considering we're talking about murdering and torturing people, to get out with a few punchlines there.
But I just want to reiterate, I'm willing to do this.
I think everyone who watches this religiously gets the vibe that you could, you know?
don't you
And in-
like blood, do you?
And in truth,
I don't like blood.
I think we've all
No.
got that in us. When people are like, I forgive, I'm like, nah, mate.
No.
No.
I wouldn't. I'm a very unforgiving person. Like, I'll
Also-
pretend I've forgot, but I haven't forgiven
How
you.
fucking bad would it be? Like, this is selfish, and I don't want to lose my family, but it really ruined podcasting, wouldn't it? You're like, it'd be bad, isn't it? Have you heard about Dan Nightingale? Yeah, his wife and kid got murdered. All right, what's he going to do about it? He's going to have to take 2 episodes off. He's still going to do the Patreon exclusive episodes, obviously, just via Zoom from the wake. Will anyone be dancing? Oh, yeah, probably.
If, like, one of us went to prison,
Yeah.
but, like, not for, like, 20 years, I'm talking, like, 6 months,
It'd be great for the podcast.
Oh my God.
would we still do it? Like, if they let me, like, because it's me going to prison, let's be honest. But, like, would we still do it, like, via Zoom?
I don't think HMP fucking Skelmersdale, wherever you end up, is going to let you set up a Zoom meeting to do a podcast.
Have you listened to Serial?
Right.
Most of that's done from prison, isn't
It's done over the phone.
isn't it?
Yeah.
it? Well, yeah, but that was back then. Didn't have Zoom then.
Right.
Maybe they'd let... I was like, oh, I'm just...
Serial's about 5 years old. That was back then. 2016. Different times, Dan. Different times.
They don't have to know we're doing it for podcasting. I'll just say I've got to have a... You can be me lawyer.
Yeah. I don't think that...
You can be me lawyer. He can be your paralegal. We'll get him a wheelchair.
Am I the only one that as soon as I hear paralegal, I just... Every time I hear paralegal, I think about the fucking Special Olympics.
So you two can come in, right? And you can be like, get out, I've got an hour with me client. And then we just bring that with you. We'll just do the podcast from the little meeting room that you get.
So when you search, you're going in, Roadcaster's on the thing of allowed.
Well, you're allowed to record your meeting with your client in case they say anything that could help your case.
Yeah.
Would you go to prison then? Do it? Take one for the team?
It would be good. It'd do the numbers good. You heard about Adam Rowe. He's gone to prison. What for? Something really bad, I imagine. Murder, torture, and whatnot. But him and Dan are still going.
Yeah.
How are they getting the roadcaster in? In a cake. Every
Carl's
fucking...
ass.
You'd have
Carl's going to be in with you as well for like...
my money would have to increase for me to plug a Roadcaster every time we wanted to do a podcast.
Well, it's good to know that you're that committed to have a word the podcast, mate.
Good.
I hope you don't go to prison. And I hope I'm going to go out on a limb and say I don't want my family to be killed. Because it's just awkward, isn't it? Trying to do banter 3 weeks later, like, fucking hell.
Yeah. It would just take the podcast in a different direction.
I think it might.
Like, if they do get murdered, don't worry. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll get through it. The podcast will be fine. I don't want you worrying about the podcast when you've got to plan 2 funerals.
I'll be on fucking Freddie Quinn's Mandarin podcast by then anyway. Let's have a break and we'll be back with some correspondence.
Mirror, mirror, on the wall, what's the best brand for products that help you shave your balls? It is, of course, the products available at manscaped.com. Manscaped.com are one of the sponsors for the Have a Word podcast, and we absolutely fucking love them. Why is that? Because they have revolutionised the male grooming game. That's why, okay? Have a little look in your kecks right now. I bet your pubes are disgusting. I bet they're horrible. But if you had the Manscaped Lawnmower 3.0 to help you shave down there with its little light on it and its battery life that lasts 2 hours, and the fact you can use it in the shower because it's waterproof. If you had all that, you'd be able to trim your pubes a bit better, wouldn't you? Now look at your nose. See those nose hairs? Imagine you had the Manscaped Weed Whacker and you could just stick it up and it does all that for you. And you know that because of the premium technology that goes into the Manscaped products, you're not going to snag the bag. No more bleedy balls. Exactly. You need to go to manscaped.com right now. Get yourself the weed whacker, the lawnmower 3.0, get yourself some ball deodorant, get yourself some ball wipes, or get all of them as part of a bundle. And on top of that, listen to this. If you use the promo code WORD, that's WORD, you get 20% off your entire order and free worldwide shipping. Free shipping, 20% off, and you get to get your balls looking all neat and tidy. And maybe your bird will suck you off a bit more often. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Back to the pod.
And we are back.
Got some emails and shit.
We've got some emails. This is a request for help from Anonymous. What's up, lids? Big fan of the podcast, and I've got my mates onto it too, but they're too stingy to pay for the Patreon. Oh,
Rats.
for fuck's sake.
Why are we helping them?
That's what all the good bits are.
Why are we helping them?
We're helping one of our boys. This came through Patreon. Anyways, I recently became single and moved into my new gaff in December. Coming out of a long-term relationship. Sorry, let's get this right. Coming out of a long-term relationship in the middle of COVID hasn't done much to help my sex life. So I thought I'd purchase a few things off Love Honey to spice up the self-love.
Is this a man?
Yeah. One of these being a flashlight turbo thrust blowjob masturbator. Wow. That is a fucking tragic sentence. Trust me, this thing was... Before we go into his question, I love the fact that he's given it the full branding. The flashlight turbo thrust blowjob masturbator. Now, I've been aware of these.
Every word in that sentence adds a tenner onto the price of the thing, doesn't it?
It is a good bit of kit as well.
Shut
I've
up.
been told.
He's doing...
I reckon Carl secretly has some like little self-love sex toys, you know. I reckon he does.
No.
I do. I reckon
I'm not against them, but I don't.
I reckon you've got a fuck doll.
Your ma.
My mum's cadaver.
Cadaver was used twice today.
Yeah. He's nicked it.
I prefer Jane Doe.
Because she's anonymous. You don't know who it is. You just like fucking any dead body.
That's the one.
God, that got rough really quick. You two bring out the fucking rough in each other. Have you ever used a flashlight? I remember these from Joe Rogan's podcast back in the day. They were his original sponsor on the Joe Rogan Experience, the flashlight. Have you ever used one? I was talking about
this with my missus the other day.
I thought it was the flashlight, not the flashlight.
It is the flashlight, yeah.
He's misspelt it. And when Paul Smith guest co-hosted when you were off gallivanting,
family holiday in Wales.
He told us that he's got 3. He's got 2 and a travel one.
Travel one.
And they're all modelled on different porn stars' vaginas.
Get to fuck.
They are?
I just think I got my travel vibrator, masturbator right here. Do you know what I mean? Like, come on.
Would you ever make a mould of your dick for Laura? Because you can make moulds, can't you, of both?
As long as they could, like, add a few percent. This is a mould of my dick, plus 60%.
What, like, keep the shape and size, but, like, just drag...
Oh, absolutely.
Copy and paste the middle bit.
Perfect replica, but, like, twice as big. There you go. Miss me, love.
Just ratio it up, yeah.
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 But that's not something she has requested. I mean, she doesn't even want my dick. She doesn't need a fucking mannequin of it. But I know I've never used a masturbator through a fucking wanking futuristic fleshlight just through fear of being caught doing it. Like,
put me dick in one of those jelly snakes once.
What?
The ones where you do this?
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
The ones that, like, you can poke your finger all the way
and
through.
they run away from you.
Yeah. It didn't really do anything. But I did pop me dick in
Did you
it.
expect a reaction from it?
I expected it to feel good, and it didn't really. I just went back to wanking.
Yeah. You're at the end of the day, you are a man with your dick in a jelly snake.
Yeah.
How old were you?
A couple of years ago.
Why did you have a jelly snake?
Because I bought it. I was in the shop, I seen a jelly snake, and I was like,
you bought it for the purpose of wanking?
No, I bought it because I wanted it. And then, there's only so much time you can spend alone in a room with a jelly snake before you put your dick in it.
Yeah. Not for everyone. I think most people could just leave it as a jelly snake without fucking it.
It was whispering to me, though. I could hear it.
Was it?
It was just over there in my head. I was like in the bed, and it was just over there. And it was going, God, look, come on, look at me. What do I look perfect for?
Shit.
I bet you shagged your teddies when you were little.
I didn't. That's called comedy acting.
My God.
I didn't.
And it was strong for the audio.
I thought about shagging the couch once, but I didn't go through with it.
Just before I started here, I never knew shagging the couch was a thing.
Yeah, apparently it is, yeah. Like, it does look like a bit of a dick gap, doesn't it?
No. I mean, to you, but then again, jelly snakes ask you to fuck them. So I am finding a whole new level of weird on you. Like, it just started talking to me. Like,
It wasn't talking to
like
me, it was just looking at me.
like the dirtiest
in a-
scene from Harry Potter ever. Like, Adam,
Well, it's not even really a snake.
stick
It's,
your
it's
dick
like
in me.
it's more like a bit of flubber. You know what I mean? It's just a thing, but it's got a dick hole in it. Like, and there's no way the people who made that
Have you, ever,
thought that no dicks are going in it.
have you ever seen those pink pigs that you go,
Yeah, I love that.
yeah, I've stuck my dick in there.
But I haven't used a flashlight because I'm not a pervert.
I like the chicken ones.
Have you ever used a flashlight, Finn? No.
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 Unfortunately
Finn.
not. Sorry.
Can't find one big enough, mate. Oh, Coverlutz, he's got a fucking
You got a
weapon.
big dick?
Oh, definitely. Come on,
It's
mate.
all right.
Oh,
It's
he's
all right. I've had
packing
no
heat.
complaints.
You reckon?
It's been commented on Twitter.
Has it?
I've seen someone fucking in a like an art going, I bet Finn's got fucking pipage.
I missed that. I need to retweet that.
Yeah, retweet it with your big dick. No, I've never used any of that. I'm a dirty old devil, but I feel like that's the line. Like, I just can't. I can't be that guy.
I've used like a bullet, like
Right.
on me bell end, but the bullet belonged to me girlfriend.
Was she there at the time?
Sometimes.
Right.
Then there was one time she was just out and it was there, and I was like, I was having a wank, and I was like,
Does it help?
yeah,
I've done that.
yeah.
Oh, have you?
Did it help? A little vibrating fucking thing on the tip of your bell end, or you just put it on your balls as well, or on your taint. Oh
Oh my God.
On your...
Have you stuck your
Taint.
girlfriend's bullet up your bum bum?
no, because if you lose that,
Oh, that's a difficult one.
where's my bullet, babe?
And it'd be on
Vibrating.
it'd be on for ages.
As Adam vibrates his way over the kitchen floor, like, think we're gonna have to go to A&E.
Waiting for the Duracell battery to run out. Famously, they last a while. It's on the fucking packet, lad.
That's not enough.
Love, I'm glad you're home. Have you got anything that contains a lot of fibre? Because I need a snack. So
Yeah, you can die from that, can't you? The bullet going up your bum.
he's got
It can
flashlight,
get lodged.
turbo thrust, blowjob, masturbator. Trust me, this thing was hidden deeper than Madeleine McCann in my. Good God, I hadn't read that before I read it out. Trust me, this thing was really well hidden. Thanks for that, Anonymous. In my house, yet following a little New Year's Eve get together. Oh, fucking hell, computer. Following a bit of a New Year's Eve get together, it has now gone missing. I've checked all over the house, but I can't find it. I'm pretty sure I know which mate has taken it, but I know he's a cretin and he's so poor, he's probably been using it. My question to you, is it wrong to accuse a long-term mate of stealing your fleshlight? How'd you go about it? And would you even want it back? Thanks, Anonymous.
Well, the answer to the last question is no.
Once it's gone forever.
Like, at the minute, the only one who's done anything disgusting is his mate, because his mate has put his dick in this thing after his mate's dick has been in it.
Oh,
And
Yeah.
there's no way he's cleaned all of the cum out of it. There's just no way. So his mate's
Adam,
dick has touched his cum.
I'm just going to say right now, you didn't even need to go as far as it's once the dick's been in. It's no one wants a second-hand fleshlight. You know, this is not something you can rent from Travis Perkins. It's just, that's done, innit?
Yeah.
And I didn't even consider the old jizz element, but it's Romeo done. What a grubby fucking mate. I'd have it out.
Would you?
I've what else?
I'd have it out with him. If you really think someone's stolen your masturbator, you can't just be like, I've got to let that one ride. Oh, got to be like, mate, have you?
But what if he hasn't, though?
I'd make a WhatsApp group of everyone who's in the house and say someone has, and I'd be like Cluedo.
Like a fleshlight Cluedo?
Yeah.
Right,
It was John
guys,
on New Year's Eve
Yeah.
with me Fuckmaster 3000.
January the 4th. Anonymous just started a fucking WhatsApp group. Guys, I've invited you all to this group. We're not doing a stag do. I want to find out who's nicked me masturbator. Yeah. I wouldn't ignore it. I think you've got to have it out. Because if he's genuinely one of your long-term mates, that you're suggesting he's not like a work friend or something, you need to be like, mate, if we're going to be mates, I cannot continue thinking you've nicked a fleshlight.
So let's say, the other day you were saying you want to have a little get-together once the rules change a bit,
It was Adam.
A barbecue.
Barbecue. So we all come round to yours.
Yeah.
Me, Carl, Finn.
Whatever happened, it was Adam.
We'll get a couple of the old there's a bit of a party in yours. Right?
Can't wait. Tier 2, bring it on.
After this question, you've gone, do you know what? Laura's heavily pregnant. She doesn't want sex at the minute. And I just want to take up me. I'm going to get a fleshlight.
I'm old. I've got rheumatoid. I've got...
That's a better name.
I've got arthritis, so this isn't as easy as it used to be.
So you've got yourself a fleshlight.
Yeah.
And then you've hidden it. You've seen me coming out of that room on the night of the party.
Right.
The room that it's hidden in. So
Yeah.
you're pretty sure I've took it. You don't know.
Chances
You
are.
know.
Also, I've got a 3-year-old about to turn 4, so if I do, it has to be so well fucking hidden so that Etta doesn't wander out like, Daddy, I'm a magician. Like,
It needs to be in a vault.
it has to be so well hidden. Like this guy thinks he can hide stuff. I'd suggest I could find another level. So if you've been in that room and then it's gone missing,
So you're almost certain I've got it. So how are you going to approach that? Would you just come to me? Would you? And would you do it on the night? Would you go looking on the night, being like, "Where the fuck's that gone?" Would you wait a few days? Would you wait until the next pod? Would you do it on pod?
The best way to do it is
of course. Because as we know from months of doing this, you don't want to have a conversation you can't monetize. Come on, Adam. The fuck are we going to do? Have a private chat? If I tried to have a conversation with you off pod recently, there's this moment where you can see Adam weighing up like, why the fuck are we doing this not recorded? Because it's really about my private life. He's like, I don't give a shit. This could be on a Patreon exclusive. Would I do it on podcast?
yeah. What you should do
It would be, if this actually happened, it would be a bit eggy to do it on podcast.
No, it'd be fire.
Right.
Because he'd
Would
fold.
you be fuming with me?
Honestly, this is the weird thing with you. You give as good as you get. Like, I've fucking really pissed you off in here and we had a right rage with each other. But you don't hold it. 20 minutes later, you were like, nah, I'm over it. Like, you're very good at being like, nah, fuck off, nah. Yeah, you're right. Don't worry about it. So I actually think that's because we know some people who I've been very good friends with in the past who hold on to shit for 6 or 7 years. So there's having been friends with different types of blokes, I would much rather the sort of like, yeah, I'm fuming. What the fuck do you say that for? Knowing that 25 minutes later, if you go, right, I got that wrong, you're like, yeah, no worries about it. So I think I would have it out with you. I don't think you would nick a masturbator, though. You're not that guy. You're not that guy. You've got expendable income and an attractive girlfriend. I don't think you're the Nicky kind of...
Well, it's not me and Finn.
Oh, I'd be looking at Finn.
Yeah, Finn's single.
Yeah. Also, Finn's easier to give shit to.
But you got to remember, I'm a comic and I travel around for work. You know, sometimes I'm on my own in a hotel room. You know?
Can I just say, if we have this party, after what you said about that snake telling you things, you're not allowed upstairs. Because the last thing I need is you in Etta's room with a fucking My Little Pony. You sticking your dick in a My Little Pony.
Oh, Daniel!
Alan, what are you doing? Like, no, the My Little Pony, she wanted it. She was talking to me. Like, stay in the kitchen, dickhead. Keep out the pantry, you dirty devil. What are you doing with my muesli, you fucking perv?
I don't know. I went to a house party once and there was a house party WhatsApp group. Like they made it for like, come at this time, bring it on, blah, blah, blah. My mate, I won't name him. You'll know who he is.
I know who he is already.
Yeah. There was donuts in the kitchen. So like he put his knob in the donut.
There's no build up to that.
And we were like,
There was donuts in the kitchen, so obviously he put his knob in the donuts.
The fucking glazed now, lad.
and put it back. Oh.
God, custard filled. Oh, sorry.
Put it back, and I because this WhatsApp group is just filth, and I accidentally put it in the party WhatsApp group. So basically, I just went, look, we're shagging your donuts in the kitchen here, and put it in the WhatsApp group with like 50 people in.
Ooh.
Yeah, that wasn't
Anyone
good.
eat it?
Wow.
No, we went in and took it, put it in the bin.
Tell you what, you go to some crazy parties, don't you? The selection of donuts. This party is going to go till 11:30 p.m. when we all have an insulin spike and crash and need to go to Betty Bobies.
No, it was like they weren't like on offer. He like got them out of the cupboard and shagged one of them.
He got the family donuts out. You fucking animal.
It wasn't me.
Just so I know,
Dirtbag.
is there anything in your house that I am allowed to fuck if I come round?
The garage. Get in there.
Shag the guy.
Get in there. If you want to stick car wash up your arsehole, you go for it, mate. Bit of fucking WD-40 for lube. No, but like...
So would you genuinely want to know? Because
I don't think you would... I'd get it. I'd have the conversation with you because I don't think you're a fleshlight nicker.
Right.
It's not your game at all. But if he did, he'd do it for banter. If I honestly had a fleshlight and it went missing and I'd seen Adam upstairs, no My Little Ponies involved, and I would honestly be like, he's nicked that to embarrass me on the pod. Be like, Dan, I really enjoyed that barbecue we had. So nice that Bojo's let us out. Look what I found.
Right.
Under your bed, hidden.
Well, then you've got to go with that. So, in that, I want you to just genuinely put yourself in that situation. You've caught me coming out of that room. The flashlight is gone. So you now, if you're telling the truth, you think I'm about to embarrass you on pod. So would you, before that podcast, go, have you fucking nicked that flashlight to fucking do it on the podcast?
But I don't think you'd stick your dick in it at any point.
No. I'd give it a rinse at least.
A rinse.
What if I was just like, Dan, look.
There are no fleshlights on eBay.
What if I was like, look, I've got a gambling problem. All the exposable income I've got no money at the minute, and it's causing a lot of stress in my relationship. We're not having sex, and I needed to fuck something, so I found that. So I needed it, mate. Is that okay?
I don't think that
Can't afford me.
I don't think that would be the case. I think you'd do it to embarrass me, and in my head I'd be like, it'd probably be really funny on the podcast if you went, look what I found upstairs at your party.
I've genuinely have trouble touching it.
This guy needs talking to. Like, I don't know how you could be with mates with a guy who you thought had actually nicked a fleshlight. That would genuinely affect.
But what's the end goal? What do you want to happen?
I suppose if you
What
know.
if his mate is like, look, lad, I did take it, and
Yeah, there's no
needed it.
win for either person there.
is he got? Because if he has took it, are you saying he's got to stop being friends with him?
It's
would you
embarrassing
really
for both.
want to be a mate with someone who nicks your sex toy?
If it's just one of his best mates, you just go, oh, he's a dirty
Do you know,
kid.
randomly, I would be more forgiving, although your partner wouldn't, if they'd nicked, like, your missus's sex toy. But then again, would you still want to be mates with that guy?
I think that's less forgiving.
Is that even less
Just
forgiving?
like, I've just sniffed your
'Cause that's-
bird's fucking...
Yeah,
bullet,
yeah.
whatever, so.
Yeah.
I know where you're going with that.
Don't look at. You're looking at me like, no, that's awful.
It is.
I mean, he can nick your fleshlight. That makes sense. It's made for penises.
I'd rather you sniff my dick than my missus's vajayjay.
Yeah. I didn't want to be involved in that one. I was talking about an imaginary dirtbag. I don't know. I don't want to do either. Yeah. Although I've got a preference.
Adam's dick.
Come on then.
Lads, leave that for a Patreon. Fucking hell. I think you've just got to bin this guy off. I think that's...
Do you reckon that's the end of the friendship?
No.
What, if he's nicked your fleshlight? You could be mates with that guy because he's 100% done more than stick his dick in a fucking donut.
Well, first of all, you've got to make sure, A, that he's defo done it. But then, I think you could get past that.
Yeah, you'd laugh. You go, you dirty get. I'll just buy you one. And then just get past it.
Yeah, because he's took it for a reason, hasn't he? He hasn't took this for jokes like I would take yours or like you think I would take yours. He's took it because
he's intrigued.
He's intrigued. He wants it. He wants to know what it's like, but he's too embarrassed to order because there's a stigma with men ordering sex toys for themselves. There's a stigma we need to talk about. This is another thing about female privilege.
Oh my God. How did you drag them into
away
it?
with fucking murder
How
when it
did
comes
you
to
drag
sex
them
toys.
into it? This is just
They
about
can have big
wankers.
fucking massive purple dicks, shoving them up their ass and in the fanny and around the face. They can have all the fun they want, but I can't order one of these without being a perv. You know what I mean?
Maybe you're on your own on this one, Tonto.
Maybe he's got a missus and he's being like, what do you think about sex toys? She's like, oh, no, disgusting. So he can't order it to the house.
But nicking your mates is so gross. As if you're trying to make this about a stigma with sexuality. Like, this is women's fault, really. I know he's nicked your fleshlight and you've got your jizz in it.
It is. It is about that, because you say, oh, nicking your mate's one. What's he meant to do? Nick a stranger's? Just go burgling houses until he finds a fleshlight?
Oh, P.S. The judgment on fleshlights is not just from women. I sort of judge people with fleshlights. I think, sort it out, mate. Really? Come on, it's too much.
What about butt plugs?
Oh, you know, we've all enjoyed a weekend or two, haven't we?
See, I don't use them, but I'm not really against people.
Adam's used them, but for medical reasons.
A butt plug.
That's an IBS joke that didn't work.
I'm telling you right now, there's no butt plug in the world that can stop my arsehole's flow.
Right, yeah.
Like the Hoover Dam.
Yeah, plus you could break a toilet or two. Right, so I think we should put this to Twitter, at Have a Word Pod. Give us a follow on Twitter. We're going to put the poll up on Monday morning. Am I right here? I honestly think if someone has nicked your second-hand fleshlight, that's you done with them. That would be me done.
I'm telling you right now, Carl, if I ever get a fleshlight, lad, and you find it and you want to take it, I'll forgive you. I'll find a way.
I would rather cut my penis off with rusty shears.
You've got a weird relationship, boys.
Why? I'd forgive you. I'm just saying.
I know you'd forgive me, but I couldn't forgive myself.
Is there any following the fleshlight drama? Should we call an interval?
No, we've got time for one more question, I think. Maybe.
Yeah.
You want it? Watch it.
You always do that, though, don't you? You always do like, should we call it? Nah, let's do one more. And then it's shit, and you're like, yeah, I should have called it.
I think that was tight enough.
Here's a little would you rather. Dan Johnson, who sends in an absolute fuck ton.
He does, and he always sends them like 3 or 4 at a time, doesn't he?
Yeah. He says, eyelids, would you rather appear on Dancing on Ice, I'm a Celebrity, or The Masked Singer? So if
I'm a celeb, Dancing on Ice, or The Masked Singer.
So yeah, obviously Dancing on Ice is pretty fucking...
That's the one I'd go for.
Straightforward. That's the ice skating. That's Strictly Come Dancing, the ITV version, shit version, innit? Yeah. And then there's I'm a Celebrity is usually in Australia, but this time was in Northeast Wales. Unlucky. And then The Masked Singer's this new one that Joel Dommett's hosting. Are you aware of it?
I know of it, yeah. I know the basic format.
So they get celebrities in full costumes, but they sing songs along the way. Finn, you've been watching it.
It's my favourite programme on TV at the minute, genuinely. I know it's crap telly, but it's one of them that's kind of, if you lean into it, with a couple of drinks on a Saturday night, it's
trash telly, and like it gets a bad rap, and like we can all it's dead easy to slag off reality TV and all that, and the X Factor and whatever. It's easy to go, oh, it's shit, but it's still watchable shit. There's a reason it's so popular. However,
Dancing on Ice is my limit. Go on.
I think I'd go Dancing on Ice. I couldn't do I'm a Celebrity. I've actually discussed the prospect of I'm a Celebrity with my agent.
Has it been offered?
It hasn't been offered, but it's been like,
floaty.
Was, would you be in? And I've been like, look, I'm not going to say no to like one of the biggest shows on telly, because the exposure it gives you, like you mentioned Joel Dommett now hosts The Masked Singer. He got jobs like that because he did I'm a Celebrity and people loved him on it. The problem with that is I'm much more of a cunt than Joel Dommett is, and I can hide it for an hour and a half. But hiding it for 3 weeks is a bit of a fucking problem, especially when you've got no fucking lecky and you're eating fucking beans every day and you can't have a packet of crisp and you've got fucking David Guest or fucking Sunita telling you you're a fucking dickhead. Do you know what I mean?
Sunita off Corrie.
No, I meant fucking the other one. Simon Cowell's ex.
Oh, yeah. I would absolutely... Now I'm thinking about it, I would like to choose I'm a Celebrity for you, because just in terms of viewability, it would be so much funnier watching you lose your shit with like a female presenter of 5 Live. Like, watching you go off at Victoria, Derbyshire would be so much more entertaining than Adam. Like, Adam's ice skating, he's not great at it. He thinks he's fucking brilliant and he's fallen over. Like, that would be fairly entertaining. But in terms of like watching you lose your mind, although I don't know, because would you not just be yourself?
No, I would be.
Aren't you trading off that now? Like, you're just honest and...
Totally. Absolutely. But it's a high-pressure situation. And, like, I'm a leader, right? I'm not... right. I'm a leader and I'm competitive, right? But, like, in that situation, you have to see yourself as a team. So, you know when you go and do, like, the fucking Bush Tucker trials and I'm a celebrity, and it's like, you've got to get in this fucking bath with a load of worms to get a star, and if you get 10 stars...
I think you'd be dead good at that.
I'd be fucking brilliant at it, right? I really would. And I'd do everything I possibly could. I'd face fears and whatever to get the stars. And I guarantee you, if it was possible for me to get the full 12 stars, I'd get them. I would. Because I'd be like...
Eating caterpillars.
Yeah, totally. I'd put myself through it because then we're all having a boss scran tonight. If some fucking dickhead come back and was like, I would have done anything, but I don't like cockroaches, so we've only got 2 stars tonight, I'd be like, you're a selfish cunt, and you better be on the first plane back to fucking Coventry.
He just did Jordan North. I don't know if you watched any of the last I'm a Celebrity.
No, in my head, that was a girl.
All right. Jordan North was that guy, and you also did his voice.
I don't know who he is.
He used to present on Rock FM, which is the Preston, like the Lancashire thing, and he's ended up on Radio 1. He's quite a good looking man, but he was such an unbearable fanny. Like, you've got to go abseiling, like, oh no, I don't like heights, and then he puked before the abseiling. Watching you deal with him would be...
Do you know what I mean?
Something else.
Like, because in my head, I'd be like, we're a team, so we all have to work for the team. But the second you're not working for it, you're not part of the team anymore. Just fuck off.
Just imagine Anna and Dec going, in camp last night, it got interesting as Adam Rowe, comedian from Liverpool, went round quietly and sort of talked to all the fucking celebrities about murdering Jordan North. Just in the middle of the night, like, lad, Vernon. Oi, Vernon, lad. Vernon K, get up, you big twat. We're going to kill that fucking rat, Jordan North. Why? Because he's a fucking fanny. That would be amazing.
I'd be like pleading with the public to vote him off first. I'd be like, listen, this camp's going to be sound once that fucking selfish cunt is off.
Yeah, but what about when it gets down to a small team and you get competitive and you want to win? In fact, I know he's not a massive celebrity yet, but if you are watching in any way and you're involved in ITV television production, I'm telling you now, he can't sing and he can't ice skate. But fuck me, when he gets hungry and tired, when he gets mad eyes, and he wants to win I'm a Celebrity, it might not work out, but motherfucker, it would be the most entertaining TV. Watching you lose it with Jordan North, but in the end, it's like there's only 3 or 4 of them, isn't there, in the final? How many?
Yeah.
Like 4.
Oh, when you get fucking...
Do you know what, though? Genuinely, and I know this sounds so counterintuitive to my entire personality, I don't think I'd care about winning that. Do you know what I mean?
Not.
I don't think I would. But maybe that would change.
I would spend all the money on the planet to keep you in all of the shows. Do you know if you... What?
It's free now.
Do you know, like, if you were shit at Dancing on Ice, I'd make sure you got to the final.
Yeah.
Just so you'd be awful for like...
No, yeah.
Yeah, of course. I'd still want people to vote for me and stuff like that.
And every Bush Tucker child, you're doing it.
Yeah.
How well did Ramsey do on Strictly? Really well. Like...
I'll watch it.
Well, Laura loves it and Etta really likes it. And I watched Chris Ramsey. I mean, I remember Chris when he started out in stand-up. And we used to be mates and we just sort of drifted a bit. And I saw him a couple of years ago. He's so nice, dead friendly. He goes everywhere on tour with his mate Carl, who started out with him. So I know those boys from like Beat the Frog 12, 13 years ago. And watching him on Strictly was mental. Because at first you're like, oh, it's weird watching a mate of yours do something that's so mainstream. But then... you do start rooting for them a bit, like, even though they're a comic and they're trying to progress their career, like, they really try. Like, they earnestly try and they really care. Like, even the comedians, once they're in it, they want to do well and they want to win. What's up?
I just remembered a dream I had last night.
It was about Chris Ramsey.
It was about Chris Ramsey and Carl Hutchinson. I was going to do a gig at a party that Chris Ramsey was at, But I'd gone the barbers and got him to cut me hair exactly like Carl Hutchinson. And it freaked Chris Ramsey out. He was like, why have you got Carl Hutchinson's haircut? And I was like, I really like it. And then I woke up. I'm sorry.
How many episodes ago was it when Adam said, people telling you their dreams is fucking boring?
It is, yeah.
But when it's that weird and on conversation, that's the kind of dreams
you
have.
It just spun me head. Because like you brought them both up and I was like, what? And it was last night.
Mate, just say cadaver one more time. Let's make it really weird. Listen, ITV, he is a major option. His dreams are weird and he'll torture anyone who fucks with his family.
But there's no way I'm doing it unless I'm the highest paid ever.
How much?
Highest paid celeb ever.
How much do you want?
What do you want about?
I want to know whatever the highest paid one ever got. I want 10 grand on top of that.
How well do you think other words do?
I don't care.
He's a podcaster, guys. So
highest-
I might not bring the profile, but I'll bring the fucking drama.
The highest paid I'm a celebrity ever.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you 3. Is there 3 there? Yeah. So there's Caitlyn Jenner,
Yeah, she's going to do numbers, isn't she?
Harry Redknapp,
Yeah.
Noel Edmonds.
Right.
They are all minted, aren't they?
Who got paid the most?
Caitlyn Jenner, $500,000.
No.
Noel Edmonds got paid the most.
$500,000.
Noel Edmonds got 600,000.
Noel Edmonds is...
So I want 610.
Noel Edmonds is incredibly wealthy, though, because everything he was involved in past the 80s, he owned the production company, didn't he?
Uh-huh.
He's like, Deal or No Deal, he owns the production
Deal or No
company.
Deal was fucking good, wasn't it?
Mate.
Fucking loved Deal
But
or No Deal.
if you are smart, you come up through radio and then go, I've got these ideas for TV shows and I'm going to own the production company that puts them out. That's how to get fucking wealthy. So clever, Noel Edmonds.
Deal or No Deal was shit.
You'd be so much better than Noel Edmonds. You know?
Yeah.
More people would die as well.
Yeah.
Let's have an interval now. We've got a guest coming on. Is it all right? Should we have an interval? Yeah. It's good. You were right. It's a good little question.
Always right.
Fucking team.
Always.
Eddy Brimson's coming on. Looking forward to talking to him. Let's have an interval.
Be a good one, this.
It's going to be smashing.
What's happening, guys? It's Adam here, and I'm telling you about our new sponsor, FinalRunner.com. They are the #1 last person standing game in the UK. It's an online knockout game. It's really simple and really fun to play. You pay 1 entry fee, and then for every set of Premier League fixtures, you pick 1 team. If your team wins that week, you go through to the next round. If you lose or draw, you're out. And there's only one rule. You can't pick the same team twice. So you can't pick Man City every week thinking they're just going to beat everyone. Different team every single week. The last person standing takes home the cash prize. And the more entrants, obviously, the more cash there's going to be in the pot. And the more money you'll win. There's one special offer on right now for Have a Word listeners. That is if you sign up to the game and you get one of your mates to sign up as well. Final Runner will send you a free entry promo code for the game starting in a few weeks' time. You just have to email them and tell them you've signed up and got your mates to sign up once you've done that. If you want to sign up, go to the link on the screen right now, or if you're an audio listener, go to finalrunner.com and search Have a Word. It's £10 to enter, and entries close at midday on Saturday the 27th of February. Go and get involved now. I'm getting involved. Sensei Carl's involved. Dan probably won't because he's a fucking gimp. Back to the pod.
We're off.
Come back. Kind of regretting not going to the toilet in that hour-long break.
Oh, you
we've
need
just
a little whizzy woo? Or do you need a nasty poo-poo?
Well, look, you know.
Do you need to take a little trip?
No, we'll see how we get on. You know what I mean? If I have to leave halfway through that.
I tell you what, at any point, if you just put your hand on the table like this, like in an emergency, you know, in a driving test, they just put the hand on the dashboard and that's an emergency stop. We'll know exactly what you mean. If you just go, well, you just have to get off.
No, like if I need to go, then I'll just go.
Oh, that's going to help, isn't it?
This is my 4th coffee.
Yeah, okay, good.
And they're all been quite strong.
Right, so just expect a weird ad break in this one. If Adam pulls a weird face and then you're being told about merch, we all know what's happened. We've got Eddy Brimson, ladies and gents.
Thanks
or
for coming
if he goes
in.
away and comes back looking much more relieved.
Yeah. Our
That's
listeners.
Do you weigh yourself on and then weigh yourself off?
What, before a poo?
Poo.
Oh, I've done that loads of times, yeah.
I do that all the time.
One time, this is 100% true, I weighed myself before and after a poo and I'd put weight on.
Oh my God.
I'd shit like antimatter.
What had you done?
I'd shit a black hole out.
You taken on so much emotional strain that you'd put a few pounds on.
What's your record? I work in kilos now.
What?
I can't.
Not
transfer
whole
to
kilos. but
Listen, Brexit's happened, mate. Get on fucking board
0.6
with
of a
it.
kilo.
I think. I think I've done like one and a bit pounds, like 1 1/4
Yeah,
pounds.
it's about one-
It's
that's
about the
about
same,
0.6,
innit?
yeah.
You got a £1 pool?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you weighing poos just for your own science? You've literally you've had the same body shape in the 20 years I've known
I
you.
put weight on.
Oh,
I
babe,
put weight
no.
on-
You can't tell on the
I know.
face.
Well, it makes you look slimmer, doesn't it? But no, I put weight on in lockdown.
We've all had a tricky panny D.
I've got fat happy.
Oh,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? So
Fappy.
it's, yeah,
In a new
so-
relationship and you've got fat.
Not the relationship. That's not making me happy. She's over there.
Is
yeah.
it just the global doom and that just
Yeah,
turns you on a bit, doesn't it?
she's
Yeah.
trying to hide my disappointment with food.
So many people have died, but I won't let the cake industry die.
Someone's got to eat it.
The reason I used to weigh myself before or after a poo is like, do you know? So I had an app on my phone which a lot of people when they're losing weight or trying to sort of. It's called MyFitnessPal.
Oh, yeah.
Like most people use it now, and you can like scan a can of Coke. It knows exactly how much sugar and calories are in it, and it works out like how much you've had in a day and whatever. And it's really good for tracking your weight. Now, I used to treat every Wednesday morning like a UFC weigh-in.
Yeah.
So if I weighed myself in the morning and I was like half a pound heavier than I was a week before, so I was like, I haven't lost any weight. I thought, well, if I squeeze one out and then
Just
weigh
before.
myself again, then you're sort of lying to your app.
Oh,
Do you know what I
100%.
mean? But like, as long as I weigh that on that day, I haven't lied to the app. It's,
When I was doing the Cambridge, and I Thursday morning was my weigh-in with the Cambridge weight loss plan, which is basically posh slim fast. It's not a group weigh. You go for a one-on-one weigh. She sells you space food. You do a weigh-in, and then she's like, how many banana shakes would you like? So it's a real business transaction, but there's a weigh-in. And having that there I got so, like, you're competitive, but having someone there for the weigh-in makes it more real. It's like game time, motherfucker. And if I woke up on a Thursday morning and I hadn't lost weight, I'd be nil by mouth. I'd dehydrate myself. And then I got in the habit of on a Wednesday night taking laxatives because I just got so competitive. I was like, if I don't wake up on a Thursday morning and need a plop, I am going to make myself need a plop. So I was dehydrated and full of laxatives. So stressful, so unnecessary. Just to stand in front of someone, like outside Leeds City Centre in a fucking office with her going, well done, you've lost half a pound. You're like, thanks very much, Kate. Like,
Yeah,
Straight round to
I got
gross.
into it.
elite fighters use the sauna, and we went for a shit. It's quite the different process, that, isn't it?
Have you ever had that where you're just about to go to the gym and you're all kitted up and then you feel like a poo and you have a poo and you weigh yourself and think, well, I probably don't need to go now.
Oh, I mean,
I've done it.
Done it. I've
The
lost
body has
it.
done it.
yeah, I mean, I can sort of see that happening in the
I've done
future.
that.
Yeah,
I've
like
done
I've
that.
just.
Yeah, I'm always going to the gym and just thinking, you know what? You've done enough, Dan. You've got out the car, stood up, walked. You've done your job.
Whenever I start going back to the gym, I start the gym in stages. Do you know what I mean? First of all, I sign up, and that's enough for a month. Do you know what I mean?
And that's Feb.
I lose 30 quid out me bank, direct debit. Then the month after, maybe I'll go for a swim once a week, jump in the sauna, and it's a good 3 or 4 months before I'm actually using gym equipment. Really,
Yeah, you've got
do you know
to.
what I mean? You can't just go and get straight on a treadmill.
No, you'll hurt
day
yourself.
one.
I miss it. See, that's what I've got a little bit of a tire going on, so we've got to get rid of that.
Eddie,
But anyway,
with all
whatever.
due respect, mate, you can't sit there looking like that across from us two and be like, I've got a bit of chub here. Like, I've lost about 2.5 stone during the old pandemic, and I'm still a good 3 years of effort away from looking like that.
The
So
worst thing you can do is be happy in a relationship, though, innit?
Yeah,
It's so selfish.
Yes.
The people that you fall in love with, you're like, oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
You love me, unquestionably, and now I'm going to get fat, and it's your fault.
And
for,
she's a proper
for liking
feeder,
me.
man. She's
Oh, really?
A proper feeder.
Right. Aren't you a vegan?
No, I was vegan. I tell you what I was vegan for 23 years, and then I moved to Brighton, which was the most vegan place of all, and then I started eating eggs and cheese. And then I started eating eggs in Brighton, and I moved to Scotland and started eating cheese.
Right.
Do you still not
one
eat
of the
meat?
turning points was I won't eat meat. I don't wear leather or buy any leather. I don't buy wool and stuff or any of that. But
So you're a vegan at like scrambled egg,
yeah,
essentially.
it's comics have to have a niche. There's always a fucking niche in comedy.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden there was this niche of being vegan comics, and someone put on a vegan festival, and all these people I've known for years who were eating meat, and I've been vegan for 23 years. Did I get asked to do the festival? Did I fuck? So I thought,
And that's why most people go vegan, to increase their booking diary.
Do you know
Not
what?
for moral reasons or to save the animals.
It was an angle for
Carl
a while.
Donnelly, Julian Dean, we're looking at you, mate. I remember being in KFC with Carl Donnelly, and he was like, fuck, when I finish this Singer Tower burger, I'm going to go vegan and start a podcast.
Exactly.
I love it, the idea of like going vegan just to get fucking vegan gigs. Like there's a real...
Mate, it became a real thing. Everyone labelled themselves as vegan. They got this vegan festival.
So you're an OG vegan?
What's an OG?
Like an old gangster? You're like the original. If you...
I was old school when it was tough.
Where it was hard?
When it was hard being a vegan. You had to work
Different
it.
times.
No, it's just easy. Every dick's a vegan now.
Would you go to a zoo?
Yeah, it wouldn't bother me.
Okay.
But you wouldn't eat a zebra. Am I
wouldn't
right?
eat
Is
a
that the
zebra.
next question? Sorry.
I've had a few penguins since.
Come on!
Line him up.
Come on!
In he goes. In he goes.
He's getting fat, but he's still funny. Fuck off.
The only reason I asked that is Carl Donnelly, who you mentioned, who is like a proper vegan. He come to stay when I lived with Danny in Chester. We used to have lots of comics come and stay because we had spare rooms, and he come to stay, and there was 2 moments in the same night where he just had like this ultra vegan thing to him. So I came into the living room with a glass of milk. I like a glass of milk. I'll dip a biscuit in or whatever. And he looked at me like I'd walked in with like the blood of a child on my hands and me like I'd killed something in the kitchen. Like he was like, "What the fuck? Are you drinking a glass of?" That's like baby cow growth fluid you're drinking. And I was like, yeah, but it's fucking great with Oreos, lad. And then a couple of hours later, Danny was like, might go to the zoo tomorrow. And Carl was like, I can't go to a fucking zoo. I'm vegan. I'm against zoos. It's against me whole philosophy.
Mate,
There's all sorts of
the
ways
way
of doing
you characterise Carl makes him sound so much more aggro than he is.
he's the
He
nicest
is
bloke.
literally the most
lovely.
chilled out London guy. Like does a bit of like ASMR, and he's all chilled out. And the way Adam, what the fuck are you drinking, lad? That's the fucking milk I've had for a baby cow. You fucking rat. Wow, that's very hardcore. Do you think he was appalled at the fact that it's like dairy, or the fact that you're a grown man drinking a glass of milk like a fucking American child?
His words were, that's not a drink, that's mental illness.
Wow.
He thought it was literally insane that anyone would have a glass of milk.
Yeah, but if you can have cornflakes with almond milk, you're a different type of fucking weirdo, though, aren't you? Because it's not right.
Almond milk's rank. Horrible.
Oat milk's nice. I like
Not
an
with
oat milk
cornflakes.
latte.
Oh,
Oat milk latte, extra shot of coffee.
I think
bit
you
of
like it because you
vanilla
like
syrup.
asking for it.
What?
I think you like it because you like asking for
I
it.
hate asking for it. I
Coconut
really
milk.
hate asking for it.
go coconut milk, mate. That's the way.
Oh yeah, coconut milk's quite nice. I've tried that.
What is this podcast?
I've genuinely, with a bit of muesli, when I've been trying to be healthier, that's all right.
Coconut milk, bit of yogurt on top, and some figs.
Weren't you? Do you remember your Edinburgh show where weren't you like a protester to the point where you were on lists, not in the,
Yeah, I was this is going back a long time. I was the joint press officer for the National Anti-Hunting Campaign, so very anti-fox hunting. So I used to be out sabbing every week, every saboteuring.
Sabbing. Look at that. That's how you know the fucking industry. I was a sabo.
Every Saturday and then some midweeks. So I used to be out doing that all the time. And then
Like football.
and then I ended up being press officer because the bloke who was running it got put away. And so I took over, and then I found myself under surveillance by MI5.
So when we took, so you were so anti-hunt that you ended up in the, like, basically one of the leading members of the anti-hunt.
I wouldn't say. I was just helping out. I was joint press officer for a while when the petition that we delivered to ban fox hunting at Downing Street. I delivered that.
Oh, amazing.
That's did you talk at Downing Street?
I stood outside and we had pictures taken, and we had this guy bought
I've
his
done
fox
that.
up from. Yeah. But we didn't really talk. Because people, it's funny when you deliver a petition at Downing Street, you think, oh, this is my big day, and then you've got about 2 minutes to get in, and then they bring the next one in because it's just a conveyor belt of people delivering petitions.
Do you know what was before or after you?
I don't know. More zoos, probably.
You really hope that they've not booked the pro hunters, and they're behind you like,
But yeah, I did all that. And
what
then,
era are we talking here, Eddie?
This was 90. When they came through my door was 93.
When you say they came through your door,
I got a day. I was one morning. I was in bed, and all of a sudden I heard the front door getting kicked in, and I was like, "What the fuck's that?" And then I heard all these boots come steaming up the stairs towards the door. I went quiet, I opened the door, and then this bloke stepped across in front of the door with a machine gun on, and so I shut the door. And he come out. They kicked the door in, and they took me away.
And this was because you were so anti-fox hunting.
This is The 93 was a really weird time over here because there was a lot going on. There was the anti-hunt movement, which was a big attack on. You're talking the head of the establishment here. You're talking lords, ladies, landowners, gentry, royal family. So it's big sort of attack against them and their way of life. You had the
and let's be honest, if the working class were into fox hunting, like it would have been long gone, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Landed gentry going, but we've always done it.
We've always done
fucking
this,
want to.
And you just had the poll tax march, you had the criminal justice bill, you had all the road building stuff, and it was all kind of interlinked. And there was a little period where it was very, very political back then. So there was all these movements going on. And there was a little period where they were starting to think, we're losing control here. We're losing control of what we got. And somewhere along the line, someone said, you need to go through the doors of all the people at the top of these movements to smash them. And I was just happy
I'm just the press officer.
Well,
I'm merely the press officer. Well, I deliver petitions.
We was a very active hunt saboteur group. It's a really horrible place to be. It's a very violent place to be on a hunt because the farm lads who are out there to protect all the riders, they're big lads and they don't mind a tear up. And you're in the woods in the middle of fucking nowhere and lads are coming at you with shovels. And it's not a nice place to be. It's quite a dangerous place to be.
And famously, who are the people tooled up in this country? Like the countryside boys have got access to shotguns.
Yeah,
They're the cunts who are shooting things. Like
I've got shot at before because of.
Wait, can we just slow down a little bit? Because if I'm here having a panic attack about how much information's getting fired at, some cunt watching on YouTube needs a fucking break for a second. Okay, so hang on. When you say a horrible place to be because you were anti-hunting, you were going in the middle of them hunting to stop them hunting.
Yeah.
You're not just standing on the streets of London going,
no,
this in.
You're out in the
You're literally trying to stop them get at the foxes.
Yeah,
and
you're
shit.
in the field. You're in the field running around fields chasing horses and dogs and all that. It's a really, you have to be. It's physically draining, but it's mentally draining because you don't know what's going to happen. And the way you sab a hunt is. Once you just try and stay as close to the horses as possible, and then when you know they've got a fox up, you hear the horn will go and all the cries will start out. And what you've got to try and do is get between the fox and the dogs, right?
Yeah.
Because once the dogs get on the scent, they're down and off they go. And so you have to let the fox pass, get between them, and then you lay a trail of citronella. Right, which is lemon juice, because then the dogs are like, and they hit it, and all of a sudden they're like, oh fuck me, what's that? And they lift their heads off the scent, and that gives the fox more space to get away.
It's such a serious thing, and you're like, you've got to get hit between the dogs and the fox, and then you've just got to lay some citronella and air freshener, and if you've got Smelly Dave, get Smelly Dave.
That won't work. Smelly Dave won't work.
If Smelly Dave takes his shoes off, they'll fucking stink. The dogs will be like, God, he needs a wash.
So that's how you do it. So you have to physically be there, and the other thing is, you can't get physical with them. They get very physical with you, but the second you get physical with any of them, that's it. You're nicked. You're taken away.
So the people on the hunt will attack you, but you have to sort of.
You can't.
You just have to eat it.
No, because it's all geared up for them. They're doing something which at the time's lawful, and you're stopping them doing it. So the police are there to protect them.
And they're landowners, and they know the MPs, and they know the lords.
Yeah, I pulled a copper into a river once, and I got nicked in Radstock. That was on a mink hunt. They were hunting mink. So, and that's in the rivers. And we were in this river up to here. This copper's standing on the bank, and he just kneed my mate in the face. And I'm like, did you fucking see all that? And this copper goes, what you going to do about it? So I just grabbed his leg and pulled him in. A splosh. And then I got nicked on that. And
what did they charge you for?
Well, check this out, right? I got nicked on that. They put me in one of them little cell vans, handcuffed. I'm soaking, mate. I think I'm fucked here. This is going to be big, right? And then I get to Radstock police station, and they get me in front of the desk sergeant, and he goes, right, when was he arrested? And the guy goes, I was standing there. 1 o'clock. Okay, what's the time now? It's 4 o'clock, and you've just brought him in. I'm standing. He goes, right, can you just take him to the cell? And then 10 minutes later, they bring me back out, and they get the copper in, right? Stand me in front of the desk sergeant. He goes, this officer's going to make an apology to you because lawfully we're only allowed to keep you handcuffed in one of those wagons for an hour. And you was in there 3 hours, so I do apologise, and this officer's going to apologise to you. And if he does that, is you okay to go? And I went, yeah, fine.
Oh my God. Amazing. That is perfect though, isn't it?
Like, I was right.
You pulled a busy into the fucking river, and he had to say sorry to you.
Sorry to me. Mate, I've no doubt in all my time of doing all this, because you have to stay above the law, but yeah, there's moments where you have to push it. I definitely had someone looking over me all the way through.
I mean, they could have, if they got you out of that van quick enough, if they're in the mood, they could do you for, could they honestly do you for attempted murder for pulling a police?
Honestly, you would not believe. I got arrested outside Sotheby's on inciting to kill police officers, which is something, it didn't happen.
Right.
We was at are you okay with this story? Right.
Yeah.
Mate.
Please tell the story.
Yeah.
Right.
Because to be honest, we had Pete Otway on recently, and he just never shut up about fox hunting. That's a fucking nightmare.
Genuinely,
his dad nearly drowned working for the police once. Anyway.
Right. Genuinely, this is what you are. People don't think this kind of stuff happens, but this is what you're up against when you start attacking them.
The system.
And there is them. People think it doesn't exist, but there is us and there is them. And we do live in a democracy, but once you start to step over a level to affect their mate, it fucking comes down on you right now.
So you don't believe in any of this shit, do you?
What? I'm sorry. What? You're telling a socialist that he doesn't believe in any of the system about like.
Well, I talk about this all the time, and you call me a conspiracy theorist.
No, this isn't a conspiracy. This is literally the whole makeup of the UK, and it always has been.
Fucking change this tune now, Annie. Now that there's someone else in it.
This isn't a conspiracy. This is the aristocracy.
Yeah.
This is how it's always worked in this country. There's plebs and the fucking wealthy. Real wealthy. Not scratch card, not playing for fucking Liverpool.
No notice of him. When you're not here,
he's talking about like, oh, do you believe that JFK got bombed by a goal? Like, it's that level of conspiracy I have no time for. This isn't a conspiracy.
That's bollocks though, isn't
this is the system.
All I'm saying is, I think the American them killed JFK, which is exactly the same thing.
That wouldn't surprise me.
For the love of God, we're having the most interesting story ever. We're not dragging it into conspiracies. Eddy. For the love of fuck. I agree. I agree with him and you.
Okay, so look, there was a big auction going on at Sotheby's of hunting memorabilia, right? So we went down there in our van, right? I'd gone down on the train. Right now, so they put crash barriers opposite Sotheby's. We're all standing there, very placards, giving it grief. Not giving it, just normal stuff.
Sorry, what are they selling at Sotheby's?
Hunting memorabilia.
Right.
So we've gone down there to protest against
What kind of fucking bellend goes, oh, I'm going to Sotheby's.
Well.
A vintage horn. What a tit.
Oh, mate, I'll tell you another story in Isle of Wight. Right, I snapped the hunt. Oh, no, I shouldn't say that because he didn't know that I did it. Right, anyway.
Do you want that editing out?
No, it's all right. That is, yeah. The horn for a hunt is the main thing. They're handed down over years, and something happened at the Isle of Wight hunt, which was they released a fox out of a bag into the hounds right in front of us because we'd fucked up their day. Just dropped it in. There was this coachload of old biddies there as well, and they saw it all happen. But as they did it, the huntsmaster dropped his horn, and I picked it up and snapped it in half. And that is, for them, he was in tears, this bloke. Absolutely. That's been in my family 200 years because the dogs are really trained to specific horns.
Oh, God.
So if he gets a new horn, the dog's like, huh? Who's this cunt?
Like the
Brilliant.
bullshit bell when we changed it.
What?
Like when we changed the bullshit
Yeah.
bell.
The tone was different,
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
it?
Slightly different to the original
Just the same.
It's exactly the same. Our listeners, when they hear that, are like, what's that?
Somewhere a hound just went, huh?
Anyway, right, back to Sotheby's. So we're standing opposite Sotheby's. Right now, what happened was my mate comes round in the van and he pulls up outside Sotheby's. We used to have this van that we used to go on hunts in. And he leans out the window and the coppers go over and go, you can't park here. You've got to. So my mate out the windows goes to him, could tell us where to park, and the copper directs him off. My mate goes. This copper's walking up and down, right? And his name's PC Pratt because we heard one of the other coppers call him. So every time he's walking past, I'm just going, Pratt, right? Then we hear that.
I love that's like fucking being on fucking Barley in a game of Tekken. It's like, that's your name, no. Well, that is your name, no. So you can't get pissed off because that's your name.
So anyway, we then suddenly hear that they're not coming into the front of Sotheby's. They're going in a side door. So we then all go to run to the side door to protest them going in. And as we run around, these coppers grab hold of us. I get pinned to the floor with two other mates and we get nicked. And they take us down to the cells. And I can't remember what police station it was. Anyway, they took us down there. Next thing I hear, right, we're released after 1 o'clock, so we can't get home. So we're stuck in London for the night. And then the charges come through. I'm arrested with my two mates with incitement to kill police officers because allegedly I've jumped the barrier and shouted, quote, first one to kill a copper gets a $5. Right? A $5. Yeah? I end up in Bow Street Magistrates Court.
Oh, Jesus.
Right? With my two mates. One of my mates' dad was a lawyer. He got him a barrister. I had used by then all my what's the your free help you get from the lawyers.
Oh, right, yeah, okay.
I'd used it all up, right? Because I kept getting
Pro bono.
Is that it? Well,
that's the medical.
Well, anyway, but I'd used it all up, right? So I'm having
So you get a quota of legal representation if you...
if you start using only a point where they don't give you it anymore.
Right,
so
okay.
I'm having to represent myself.
See, I could do that.
They
because
get
I've watched
up.
The Good Wife.
Here's one good thing, though. Right, one good thing. They get up, they give their evidence. This is what happened. This is what happened. Then one young copper got up, and their lawyer said, "Did you know this happened? Did you hear these words?" And he went, "Well, it's a yes or no. You were there." And he goes, "Do you recognise a gentleman in this court?" And he just looked at me and he went, "No, I don't." He clearly wasn't prepared to lie. But there's 3 coppers had gone up, described me better than I could describe me, and said word for word, "This is what I said."
Yeah. And was PC Pratt one of those
PC
3
Pratt
guys?
was one of them. I then get up in the court and I go, right, I'm defending myself. I go, the first thing I would like to say is I would like to remind the officer that he's under oath. And the fucking judge went bananas. How dare you come into my court and speak to an officer about law? And I went, he goes, why do you say that? And I looked at the judge and went, because he's lying. Right, and my mate's barrister just put his head in his hands like this, because I'm thinking I've got nothing to lose here. I'm going away for a long time here. Right at the end of the afternoon, in comes the clerk of the court. He goes, and then all of a sudden it's announced we have videotape evidence from security cameras outside of Sotheby's of what happened, and we're like, well, everything they've said didn't happen because I wasn't. Apparently, the van came round the corner, slammed to her brakes, the back doors opened, and I jumped out with 3 others. Right?
Is that when you said?
Yeah, no. We said that once we got over the barriers is when we apparently said that. I wasn't even in the van, right? No one got out the van, right? So we're like, well, that didn't happen. They can't have the video evidence. So we then go down into this video room with my mate's barrister, me and Alan and Tricky. And
hang on.
And no.
Whoa. No, we got to pause.
Alan and Tricky.
Right.
We can't just brush over Tricky, Eddy.
Tricky's great. They're all punks. They're brilliant, right? But
of course he is. His name's Tricky.
Yeah.
Great name.
And their lawyer comes in, they put the video in, so we're all sitting there watching it, and we're starting to think, are we mad? Because this didn't happen. And it shows. The van comes around the corner, pulls up, the copper walks over, my mate leans out, and the copper directs him. Exactly what we said. And my mate's barrister's gone, what the fuck's this? And the copper's just looked at me and went, don't worry, Eddie, we'll get you sooner or later. Oh. And then we come in the next day, and I'm like, my mate's barrister went, we will sue the arse off these for this. We come in the next day, and before we could do anything, judge said, we've just, because of evidence that came to light last night, there is no case to answer here. Right. However, and then he looked at me, I don't believe for 1 minute a police officers sit in a room and concoct evidence to get a conviction. Case dismissed.
Okay.
Right?
So they can lie their arse off to try and get the conviction.
So let's get the video evidence. Sorry, it was destroyed overnight.
Just accidentally.
That's what you're up against.
That is a conspiracy I'm fully behind.
Right.
There you go.
There's only one step between that and Pizzagate. So this is what you need to get on board with.
Oh my God. It's literally, even though it's years ago, I'm sitting here going, fucking bastards.
The police are doctoring evidence, and Hillary Clinton is eating children, and they're both happening.
It's a big jump, innit? It's a big jump.
And then they really try and screw your head up, because I could go on for ages about it. There's so many stories of things they do, but one of the things, after it was dropped, one of the things they do is when you leave your house, or when I leave your flat, I'd then come back in and the furniture would be moved around.
I remember you telling me about this. We did a gig together, and it was somewhere in Scotland. Billy Kirkwood was on. It was me and you.
It was up in St Andrews, right up north.
Yeah. It was dead nice, wasn't it? It was only a few of them, but it was dead nice, really posh. But I remember you telling me about this there, and I was like, wow, that's fucking, like, they'd just come in and just move your table
around.
a bit, just enough to, like...
Just to let you know that they've been in your house.
Yeah, they fuck with your head, yeah.
And you can't go to the police and go, someone's been in my house. How do you know? My coffee table's 3 degrees to the left. Because then you sound like a knobhead.
It's funny though, because you start to think, is this really, did this? And then I went and worked on a island in Scotland to get away from it. Once it was all calmed down, because I couldn't then go out on hunts, because if I was out on a hunt, the police would be all over it. And so it was,
you were too high profile.
It was stopping people stopping them hunting. It would become more of a...
Was this when you were doing comedy?
No, it's before comedy.
Right.
And
you weren't like finishing up the Saboteur going, I've got to close Watford John. So I like, lads, I know. Honestly, I've done the last of the Citrella.
I've got to get to Leicester for six.
Oh, it's fucking Donna.
If you're going to kill it, kill it. I've got to get to Leicester.
No, I can't open.
So, no, what was we talking about? I can't remember.
The police, the system, country.
No, but yeah, but I've lost the last bit I was telling you about. But it
was they're moving your furniture slightly and trying to fuck with your head.
I went and worked in Iona in an abbey to get away from it, or just wanted to get away. And my mum was every now and again I'd send her to go back to check on my flat because I was up there for 3 months, and she rang me up one day and she goes, I know that it's been really tough for you, and all the stuff you've told us, but I know you're telling me the truth because I went into your flat today and your washing machine was out in the middle of the floor. And I went, oh, they must have had something.
Mine does that though if I put it on a heavy spin, you know.
So they come in to take a bug out?
Probably. Honestly, they knew when they came through the door and then took me in this car. They drove me to Windsor. I was arrested on suspicion of terrorism, planting two letter bombs in Windsor at the Horse and Hound magazine. I didn't do it. Right? But the thing is,
I can see why they guessed you.
The thing is, right? I was living at the time with my girlfriend, and we were joint press officers. Yeah?
Right.
And we were sending out a lot of stuff from the flat. Now, if you're going to take things to that level, you don't tell anybody else. So when they came through the door and arrested me and her, and they're telling me everything about myself, all my family, everything I've done, right? And I'm like, fucking hell. And then it all makes sense. All these people you keep thinking, I know that bloke. You realise, they'd have been the blokes who've been following you all the time.
Oh my God.
But then I'm sitting in this cell, And the solicitor come in and said, you're looking at a minimum of 13 years because it's terrorism and a conspiracy charge, which means premeditated, much higher sentence. So I'm sitting there thinking, fuck, Elspeth's put the packages together and I've taken it to the post office. So my fingerprints must be on it. So she's done it without me knowing, but there's no way I'm going to convince a jury that I didn't know because we were living. So I'm fucked. So I'm sitting there thinking, I'm going next 13 years. I'm going to be in.
Just to clarify this, just a couple of things, because I know how much our listeners are going to be loving this episode. I just want to clarify a few things. So Elspeth, that was your missus at the time.
My girlfriend at the time, yeah.
And what you're saying is, what you thought at the time was, she wouldn't have even told me she was going to do this.
If she was going to go to that level,
she'd have just put the package and gone, post that, Eddie.
Yeah.
If you're going to send a letter bomb to, you know, Horse and Hound or any publication, you really should, once you've made the bomb, send the post to the post office yourself. That's a bit of a shit house thing to do. Made the bomb, but I tell you what, I'll make a bomb. I'm not going down post office with them cues.
The thing is, she obviously didn't do it.
No, I know,
right?
I know.
But when you're sitting in a cell and like 3 hours before you were tucked up in bed and you're sitting there thinking and all this information's bombarding you, that's what goes through your head. She must have done it. And unfortunately, I've got my fingerprints on it. Or she could have, you know, I could have gone and bought the envelopes. And she could have put it together and posted it herself.
Yeah.
As I bought them, you know. So all this stuff's going through your head and you're thinking, I'm fucked. But it was really weird. It was a really weird feeling because I was just thinking, well, that's what it is. That's what I am.
That. Yeah. Just one more thing. When you say like people following you, you're literally talking about MI5 here.
Yeah, I was arrested by. It was all held by Thames Valley Police with the police, whatever it is, who charged me and did all the stuff for me.
Yeah.
But I think it was higher than that. I think it was MI5 and all that because of all the different things that were going on. Because you do get linked in. If you're involved in the hunt thing, I did a couple of days on the road protesting thing. I was and you know, so you get linked into all the different sort of movements that are going on because you kind of believe in the same things. You know?
Yeah.
So you're basically, in their eyes, you're all linked in with the troublemakers, essentially.
Yeah, well, you're becoming a problem for them.
Right.
So they want you out of the way. And in fairness, what they did, this is only my theory, that someone said, go through the doors of these top people. And they obviously came through my door a bit early because they obviously thought they genuinely thought that I'd done this because it was a brilliant moment. We're sitting there and they come in to interview me for the third time. And I'm sitting there and the solicitor's gone, they want to go in again, but they seem very agitated. I went, oh, all right. So it was sitting in and this cop was asking me these questions and then one of them just had his pad and paper and he just went like that, picked it up and threw the pad across the room and walked and stormed out. And the solicitor looked at me and he went, what the fuck's going on? And I went, they've just realised they've fucked up. I told you I didn't do it.
Is this the letter thing?
Yeah, that was the letter thing.
And he basically got released?
I got released after 13 hours. But then they continually kept nicking me for the next 6 months. And in the end, I got taken to Luton Court.
There's a Watford fan.
Yeah. That's a football thing. After all we've just spoke about, like MI5 control themselves, the busies lying on the fucking stand under oath. Yeah, this happened, but fucking Luton.
I nearly got put away for years, but fuck the Hatters. Amazing.
And I got taken to for failing to indicate.
Oh.
And they tried to make out that I'd driven a van towards some horses on a hunt. And one of the hunters got up and said I hit their horse and there was a cut. And even despite the fact that a police officer got up and went, I examined the horse and there was no injury to it whatsoever, they have finally done me for failing to indicate, and they fined me £460 and put 6 points on my licence, which was the maximum they could give. And again, when they left, they went, we told you we get you.
Oh my God. Can I ask a weird question? It sounds really pernickety. If the police have bashed your doors in, out your front door and also your bedroom door because you closed it on them, do they pay for the doors?
Do you know what? We came back, right?
In my head, I'd be like, I know that was stressful.
No, it's not. It's
but
not.
Where's my fucking doors, dickhead?
No, I come back. We lived in a masonette, so our door was at the side of this other. Oh, fucking great thing happened, right? And we come back, and there's the tape across the door, and the door's fucked. So, of course, I got the ump by now. I've rang them up and go, what about the door? And they went, it's not our problem. It's for you to fix. So we had to get, it was a council flat.
Yeah, if they're giving you a £460 fine for not indicating, they're not paying for your door.
A year later.
Imagine a police carpenter turning up.
I had to get
sanding it down. It's lovely action. It's really nice interest.
So the busies can just volley your door in and then leave you to fix it.
And they took away so much stuff from the flat. They took all sorts of stuff. And I never saw even, half of it back. Here's the thing, right? When it was dropped, within about an hour and a half of it being dropped, phone rang, News of the World. Oh, we hear you've been under... Like, oh, really? How the fuck did you know? Go fuck yourself. Bang. Right? And on that Sunday, there was a little bit in the News of the World. Hunt saboteur sues police for a 1p Tesco's carrier bag because it was one of the items that was listed that they'd taken a load of stuff away, files and that were in a Tesco's carrier bag.
And the News of the World.
And the News of the World said, Hunt saboteur
right.
tries to
Should make you look like a petty little shit.
Like a prick, yeah.
Oh my God.
Mate, it's relentless. What was I going to tell you?
I cannot
when I
believe
come back,
that story.
right? When I come back, I lived above an old lady called Margaret, right? And it's just, I thought she was lovely. I thought I'll give her a knock and explain because she must have shat her pants because her front door, my front door was right by her bedroom. Right? I've gone. Amazon? She leant out of the window as they took me out in this paper suit and shouted, "It's okay, Eddie. I've called the police." It's all right.
They're already here.
They've got this one fucking.
Margaret, I've got some news.
But I knocked on her door and I went, Margaret, I'm really sorry about what happened this morning. You must have been really scared. And she genuinely said to me, she said, I'm more disappointed than anything. And I went, why? She goes, I never had you down as a drug dealer. And I went, I'm not a drug dealer. They think I'm a terrorist. And she just shut the door.
Amazing.
It was really weird. It was a really strange, about 2 years, really strange, but incredibly, I met some of the best people I've ever met, and it was a really purposeful time because we did actually achieve quite a lot in that time.
Yeah. Well, and so that's like mid-90s. When did you get involved in comedy? I just feel like I've mentioned comedy. We all know you from stand-up. And I mean, I've known you 15, 20 years from when I first started. When I started out in comedy, because I support Watford, and I'm not as into football as I used to be, but I was like, I used to go to away games all around the Northwest. And as soon as I got into comedy and told someone I was a football fan, they were all like, oh, you'll want to meet Eddy Brimson. Yeah. So it's really weird. I think I met you in about 2004, but I'd had 2 years of older comics go, you will fucking love Eddy Brimson. And I remember meeting you on the Royal Mile. It was Edinburgh 2004. I was flying with Josie Long, Mark Over, Mick Ferry. It was our big value show. And someone went,
what a fucking line.
And someone went, it was amazing. Seymour Mace was on. And someone went, oh, Eddy Brimson's over there. And I was like, it was, that was my first Fringe. And I was meeting so many famous people. Josie Long was mates with Jimmy Carr and David O'Doherty because she'd started so young in comedy and we were bumping into people. I was so starstruck to meet Eddy because I was like, Eddy, I'm the other Watford fan in comedy. And you were so nice about it. You were like, all right, mate, yeah.
You are a big footy fan, aren't you?
That
sort of ties in. Like one of the reasons we asked you to come in today is you've got a book coming out that you wanted to promote, which is called Naughty Boy. And I want you to tell us about it.
Well, a few years back, I got asked to write a screenplay for Lionsgate, and they wanted a football violence film because I've written a lot of books about football fan culture and a darker side of football fan culture back in the 70s and 80s about football violence and all that. Yeah. And the books were a lot about to do what I try to explain or why people get involved and drawn into that kind of world, and how it actually works, rather than the perception that was around back then. That it was much more organised, and so we sort of blew the lid on that. Because when I was younger, I used to be involved. I used to like a bit of that, and so I understand how.
So
it works.
when you say you used to like a bit of that, you're talking about like fighting with other teams, firms, of
Yeah,
lads.
yeah. Well, football back in the late 70s or through the 80s was very different. You know, it was very different to what it is now.
And Watford were really good as well.
Watford were fucking brilliant back then. There's some great footage, mate. There's some stuff on at the moment, videos around Watford made videos of us back then, and we were just incredible. And I followed Watford from the old second division, which is now Championship, down to the fourth, and then all the way back up into Europe.
The Elton years.
I was there all the way through it, and it was magical time.
If you don't know, like if you're an international fan of the podcast, like we're Watford fans. Watford are a small town that I have no right to follow. It was just my
you tell me how you followed it.
It was me and my mate in first year of year 7, just trying to be difficult, trying to be original, because everyone was a Liverpool fan or a Man United fan, and his dad was from Watford. So we were just being little weirdos basically, and then his dad took us to a few games, and it was the first game. You're like, oh, I love this. Yeah. So as soon as you're in the away end, and everyone's like, pass it to fucking feet. And we used to, even though I'm from Lancashire, Oldham away.
When? It wasn't the one where it was snowing.
No, it was 2-0 Watford. Holdsworth, not Dean, David Holdsworth scored with a header. Gary Porter was captain. And honestly, it was being part of something. Even though I was from Preston, it was great. We went for about 4 seasons, all the Northwest away games, and we got to the point where, because we're in the Watford fans, even at Preston North End versus Watford, we were in the away end. And as soon as we got in there, we wouldn't go, come on Watford, in our voices, because that sounded weird. We'd put on a fake Watford accent and be like, come on Watford, come on you old. The best one was ever, right? This is the weirdest.
I want you to carry on. It's really nice. This is episode 108, and we've really avoided talking about football on this podcast, right?
Can't do that.
The reason we've done it is because as you know, I'm a Liverpool fan and I'm a wind-up, and we didn't want to alienate any listeners.
But you're a proper fan, though. You're a proper fan.
But he's not as into footy as he used to be. And in 108 episodes, I've never seen this joy of football on his face.
Fucking great. Tommy Mooney, I fucking loved it.
Once an on it, always an on it.
Once we played Preston, and I will never forget it. It's called the town end is like the rowdy end at North End, and we were near it in the away fans. But I'm from there. My granddad was a season ticket holder at North End at Deepdale. Wow. Is the weirdest thing. And we did the chants in a fake Watford accent, like pass it to fucking feet. We joined in, and then at one point, and I've never heard it before, the Watford fans started singing, you can't talk proper, shut your mouth. You can't talk proper, shut your mouth, right? And me and Fraser, both from Preston, sat there and went, oh, that's weird, isn't it? Yeah, fuck it. You can't talk proper, shut your mouth. It was the strangest, I love being a Watford fan. But this was when Watford were second tier and never that good.
Yeah.
You followed them in the Elton John years. He basically paid them up the ladder.
Yeah, well, say that we had a lot.
He was the original Sheikh.
He sat in the dugout at games.
He's a proper fan, and the key was getting Graham Taylor in, and a lot of those players he didn't buy. It's not like now, he didn't go out and buy all those players. We had a brilliant youth system, which we've always had. Well, it's kind of gone tits up recently, but a lot of those players came through, like Luther and John Barnes. They're all local, came through. That's how that team came about.
Yeah.
And it was incredible. It was incredible to follow them back then. And it was good fun on and off.
Where was it the most naughty? Was it Luton?
I got battered at Swansea badly. Really badly.
If I'd have had to guess where you got twatted.
Swansea?
I tell you what, they get fucking nasty in Swansea.
Oh, mate, I got proper battered at Swansea. What they did is we played them on a Sunday, and they, just before kickoff, all of a sudden there was about 20 of them in the Watford bit. Right, this is at the old Vetchfield. And they started singing and fucked straight off. And we was like, that's shit. If you're going to come in, do it, right? Then as we're walking back to the car, it's me, my brother, and 2 of my mates. And we're walking along, and there's this big car park, all rubble around it by the side of the ground. All of a sudden, we're walking along. Who's coming straight at us? Those 20 lads, straight at us. And it's like, oh, for fuck's sake, here we go. We go to do a jog on. My brother stays there like that. And this lad picks up a bit of wood and whacks my brother in the leg with it. And it sticks in his leg, right? So I thought, it's my brother. I wish, if I knew now what he was like, I'd have fucking left him. But I thought, it's my brother. I can't just leave him. I'm going to have to take one here. So I go start walking back. And they go, leave him alone. Right, start coming at me. And then I turn around. And as I turn around, there's a load of them there. Straight on the floor, knee in the back, lift my head up, and my head's just getting kicked the fuck left, right, and centre. And they fractured my skull. Right? And all I could hear was car doors in this car park going, click. all the Watford fans going, we'll leave them to it, right? And I got up, went round the corner. I got up. They went, you cockney bastard. And being I jumped up. We're not fucking cockneys. Walk off, get round the corner, and just
You
died.
can kick me in the head, sir, but do not call me a cockney.
How dare you? I'm from Hertfordshire.
I got round the corner and died in a heap in this alley. And then my 2 other mates come round, just creasing up laughing, going, we watched that. It was fucking hysterical.
Oh my
right? And
God.
left me. But 2 weeks later, they were playing at Spurs and we were away on the next day. So I took a little mob of us down to Tottenham to see if we could, right? So we're standing on this lower shelf in Tottenham, and without really thinking about it, because the Tottenham's naughty down there. All of a sudden, they're singing "Fuck off, Watford, fuck off, Watford," but we're kind of like we don't give a shit about that. And then 20 minutes in the end, we left. Ran round to where the away end is at Spurs and went in with a Swansea to see if we could find the guys who beat me up. But they weren't there.
Right.
So it's a waste of an afternoon, really.
You were so much harder than I have ever been in my life. If I got twatted in Swansea, I wouldn't go looking for them at Tottenham. I'd just never visit Wales again.
It was bad. It was a really stupid thing to do, and I'm surprised I managed to convince my mates to do it because it was a really stupid thing to do.
How did the Tottenham crew?
They just could not make out. They clocked us because
You didn't turn up in Watford scarves.
No,
yeah, all right, good.
No, but Hemel, where I'm from, my mum and dad are from Tottenham. Hemel's got loads of people with their links to Tottenham, loads of Tottenham fans, so they would have just known who we were.
All right.
So someone would have said, "There's a load of Watford down there,"
and
they couldn't make out. Why the fuck are they here? And then we fucked off 20 minutes in the end, and
they got the fixtures wrong. Fuck off, Watford. What the fuck?
So, just to go back to where we started.
Had a great one at Oldham, though. Right, we went to Oldham. Right?
It's okay. No. The Oldham one.
Right? At Oldham, that's why I said, was it the one that was snowing? We went up there one year. It was snowing, and it should never have been on. This footage is actually online because I watched the goals the other day. Right, it's 1-1 draw. And they put us in this corner bit. And at the end, we come out to go into our coach, right? But it was only about 150 Watford there because the weather was so bad, people just didn't bother. It should never have gone on. And we just climbed on our coach, and then all the Oldham lot come out. I thought, oh, here we go. It's gonna. So the door's open. I jump off, ready to go. The door's shut. And it's just me. John said, I'm banging on the door to get back on.
What did you do? Do you want to build a snowman?
They put all the windows through, and we had to come all the way back from Oldham on this freezing cold day to Watford with no windows in the coach.
Fuck. This the closest I've ever got to being involved in like a footy fight like that is I went to Leeds away in the Carling Cup. And
you don't want to get twatted for the Carabao Cup.
And the way Leeds ground is right near the motorway. So the away team car park where all the coaches stay is about a 10-minute walk from the ground. It's at least 5. And I was 17. I went with my 2 mates, Tony and Nevin. And we watched the game. We went through, I think it was 1-0. I think David and Go scored the winner, I think, because the next round we got knocked out at the Emirates and we went to that as well. But we're leaving and we're walking towards like the thing, and we're getting right by our coach park. And my mate Tony, he's a bit mouthy, but he's not a fighter by any means. He just goes, never coming back to Leeds again. It's a fucking shithole. And then from behind us, we just hear, well, then fucking don't come back, you Scouse cunt. And there's about 30 of them. And we're like, we're not there for that. We've just been there to watch the game. And I shit myself. And then we just got just close enough to our car park for about 40, 50 Liverpool fans who were there for that to come and sort of take over the situation.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Ellen Road is just off the M621, and it's got one stand that was relatively new. The rest, like, there's been films made about Leeds United, hasn't there? Like the Damned United, and they just used the ground as it is because it hasn't been touched since 1972. There's none of these like shopping complexes around it. It's you could get murdered around Ellen Road. Like
Great club though. I got a lot of time for Leeds.
Are they naughty?
No, when I was a kid, before I started going to football, I followed Leeds when I was watching football on telly because Mick Jones was my hero as a kid.
Carl, if you just heard Carl just crack his knuckles next to a microphone,
like he's going to spark Eddie.
Carl's literally like, yeah, I fucking love Leeds as well. Let's swat someone.
It's kicking off. So he was. I don't have heroes in any shape or form. The only two people I look up to, Luther Blissett, who's just a gent and he's taught me so much about life in general.
Who's that?
Luther Blissett.
Watford legend.
Watford legend.
Ended up playing for Milan.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And they worship him. There's a section called the Luther Blissett section at AC Milan, and they're a real socialist section who named themselves after Luther.
All right.
And Mick Jones, who used to play for Leeds because he was a left winger.
Just to go back to the original, where that's part of this conversation has started from. This is your book.
Oh yeah.
And
tell me you're not interested in this book after that.
Which was originally a play and a script. Was originally, and you wanted to. You were saying before.
I was asked to write a football film, but they clearly wanted another beat me up film, and I didn't want to do that. I wanted to write something which was a bit more in depth and what draws people
about
to
the
that.
Reasons why people get into it, rather than just it's footy and they're fighting.
Yeah. I didn't want to do it, so I wrote this script. They said, oh, the first script I wrote, they said, oh, it's a bit too art house for us, so I put it away. A couple of years ago, I dragged it out again. Thought this might make a good book, mainly because there's some really good scenes in it, and I didn't want anyone lifting the scene. So I thought I'll write a book, and then it's mine. And then halfway through writing the book, I was just preparing to go to Edinburgh. And when I go to Edinburgh, I like to try something different. So
I've always known that, like, sort of noticed that about you.
Because I'm scripted, no, I'm a scripted comic, but not at Edinburgh. I like to fart.
You always do something a bit different. I remember doing because for those who are not sort of attuned to every episode of this podcast where we have spoke about what Edinburgh's like before, during the Fringe, you do your show, but you do a lot of sort of extra shows to exit flyer and get people in. And I remember doing a gig with you in the Beehive where you wore a gas mask.
Yeah. I finished that year. I finished the show. I was in the third floor, which is that gig's in the second floor. I was in the third floor, and I'd finished the show in a white paper suit, like I got arrested in, and I'd put a gas mask on, and I had a stick with a baby on it. And I play it like a guitar. And then I'd just go, ladies and gentlemen, thanks, this is the best gig I've ever had. I'm going to end my career tonight. And then I'd climb out the window and draw the curtains. So I was standing on the ledge outside of the building, 3 stories up, waiting for the people to go. And then
tickled my back that
one night, this woman tried to pull me back in because she thought I was actually going to jump. And as I'm going like that, she then let go. And I just grabbed the curtain and I'm hanging out backwards.
Well, she definitely knows the industry. Don't do it, love. It reads like a 4. It's not worth it. Chortle's not worth it.
I never get people to a few people have reviewed my Edinburgh shows, but because it's so different. Anyway, we digress. So that year, into coming up to 2019, when I was writing the book, I thought this book could make a good play, right? So then I decided I'll do a play as well as a stand-up show. So I adapted the book down to a play, which is really hard work, for an hour. Did the play at Edinburgh. And it's just, there's a little bit about football because it's a hedonistic, it starts in an institution. It's a one-man play. It's like a monologue. And it starts in institution, and then this guy takes you on this hedonistic weekend away of sex, drugs, and violence. But the violence manifests itself at football because it's just part of the weekend. But there's a lot in there about the importance of football and what shapes this guy in particular. Right, he talks a lot about his past and these flashbacks to his past, and then once they get back to London, it gets very graphic. Something really bad happens, and so it leaves you leaves you with asking a lot of questions about what actually happened. Why was he like he was? Because one of the themes of it is, this is a big thing for me, everybody seems to have an excuse for their bad behaviour. They've either got this or this happened to when they were young. Or some people are just cunts. Right?
I love
they
it.
just are. Some people are, but there don't seem to be any acceptance of that. And that was one of the themes of this book. He's kind of saying that through a lot of it. And if you then, society molds you, if it does, or if it's nature nurture, whether it does or not, then you can play that to get yourself out of situations. So there's quite a lot of in-depth in the book. So I did it at Edinburgh, did really well. The reviews, surprised, I couldn't believe how well it went. The reviews are really good. The most important thing to me was about the writing, though, rather than the performance. And the reviews and people stayed and said that they thought the writing was really strong. So when I come back, I then turned it back into a book, but I cut it right down.
Yeah.
So normally a novel's like 75,000 words. This is 25,000. It's a novella, but every word has to count. Like stand-up. When you're doing stand-up.
No fat.
No fat. Particularly because I don't fuck about on stage. I'm not like you. I'm not like Lou. I don't fuck about on stage.
Yeah, you fuck about.
Yeah, and but I wish I could, but I'm very scripted.
Yeah.
I've made a lot of my career just fucking about.
Yeah, but that's brilliant. It's such a skill to be able to do that. We can all fuck about, but it still has to be funny.
No, I know.
You know, and it's a real skill to make it funny.
But it's nice to see real content in it, or read real content, especially.
Yeah, but being able to fuck about, if you're not going well, you know, you have nights where they just don't buy into it. If you can't do that, which I don't really do that, there's nowhere to go. So, you know, if a gig's going tits up, it's going tits up. You can't then go, oh, well, let's get something out of this.
Oh, we've just recently, funny you should say, we've just talked about it recently. It's all very well like ad-libbing and messing around, but you do need the content. You
have
need
to
the
have
bits.
the content. It's not easy. People think that sort of stuff, oh, he's just riffing. He is riffing, but it's not just riffing. Yeah. You really have to know what you're doing to be able to do that. And the only way you find that out is through years of practice.
Where can we find it? Where can we...
The books should be out. It should be out definitely next Friday, and it'll be up on Amazon, and you can get it as a Kindle download, or you can get it as a paperback form.
So that's going to be Friday the 26th of February.
It should be up by then. It might even be up by Monday. It's with them all now, so it's just got to get up there.
Well, this episode is going to go out publicly, and we're still not done, by the way. We've still got another full section of this shite to do.
We don't often do an hour.
Yeah, it's a good chunk.
But we're usually talking to comedians who talk absolute nonsense just like us. And both of us have sat there going, more? Tell us more.
Well, definitely by Friday, well, hopefully by Friday the 26th of February.
Yeah,
it might already be out right now, and it's called Naughty Boy, written by Eddy Brimson.
Yeah, that's it.
Right, let's have a little break. Let's speak to one of our sponsors, and then we'll come back and we'll tie a fucking bow on it, lad.
Yeah, we'll do that fucking dilemma thing.
Got it.
I reckon. Happening, lads, do you like a cheeky little gamble on the old sporting world? Well, I do, but I'm sick of getting beat by the bookies. Now, I've been going to bettinggods.com since they started sponsoring this podcast. They're a great sponsor to have on board, and they are the best tipsters in the betting game. Anything from tennis to ice hockey to footy, rugby, horse racing. If you want tips when it comes to betting, head to bettinggods.com right now, and they've got all sorts to help you beat the bookies and get a few winners. Go get some winners. Don't be a loser. You don't want to be losing your bets. You want to be winning your bets. Bettinggods.com. They're going to help you do that. We're back. Still here
back
with Eddy Brimson. So, Eddy, we get a lot of correspondence from our listeners. We get some...
A lot of weird shit. A lot of weird shit.
Something we asked for recently was... like domestic disputes or like any dilemmas when it comes to relationships. And we got one that came in a few hours ago from a guy called Stephen Thompson, long-time listener. Basically, he's come up with a hypothetical moral dilemma, and he wants us to all know. He wants to know what we'd all do with that situation. So, imagine you're coming home from a gig. It's around 11 p.m. and you're less than a quarter of a mile away from your house. You realise in this very moment it's your missus's birthday, but you've completely forgotten to get her a present of any kind.
Oh, Jesus.
The shops are closed. There's no feasible place to get a decent, worthy gift. Now, he's addressed this to me and Dan, obviously. So he said, Laura, as she is right now, is heavily pregnant in this situation. And my relationship with Sam, who's my new missus, is still fresh out the box, yet to descend into the daily battle between love and resentment.
Delicate for different reasons.
And he remains very keen to impress her. So you're in a relationship, and you know this is what's happened. And you know your missus will be extremely pissed off if you fail to acknowledge their birthday in any way. As you're approaching your house, just a few streets away, you notice a perfectly intact bunch of flowers, absolutely stunning, and a cute, cuddly teddy positioned right next to a memorial for a kid recently hit in a road traffic accident.
Oh, Jesus.
There are plenty of other flowers and items left by the memorial in the tribute, so the removal of these said items wouldn't be that noticeable. There is also no one around, so you're unlikely, but it's not impossible for you to get caught. Do you take the flowers and save yourself from having to go through the ball ache of dealing with an angry partner, or do you opt to not pillage the memorial of a dead child and arrive home to face the music?
Well,
cheers, regards, Stephen.
Before you gave me that option, I was going to say I would fake a car crash. Right? But now...
Someone's done the work for you, Eddy.
Exactly. Someone's done the work there. And so, yeah.
Hang on. So you're saying you would fake a car crash and then wait for flowers to arrive weeks later?
I wouldn't go home. That's what I mean. I'd fake a car crash and say I was in hospital. I'll be home in the morning. I'm in A&E. There's no point in you coming. I'll see you in the morning, and then I'll get something the next day.
Yeah.
Do
you like grapes?
Yeah. Do you think your partner would buy that? Where would you go? Would you go to a hotel?
No, I'll just sleep in the car. Well, she won't now.
That, no.
She won't now. She won't now. But okay, so now that scenario is, I'd take the flowers.
You'd take the flowers. Absolute hot.
Not a teddy bear.
It's fantastic having this dilemma with your partner sitting in the room.
Teddy bear is a bit much. And it's like, oh, thank you. That's so nice, love. Why does it say gone too soon? On the teddy bear.
You wouldn't take the flowers, would you? Because I'm telling you right now, I wouldn't even think about it. I'd take them immediately. Who are you hurting?
Well, and
who are you hurting?
No, but if you can sleep at night, you're not hurting anyone, but there is a chance you're just not concentrating and someone clocks you doing it.
Yeah, but
I think that is the cringier bit.
But then what you do is you explain the situation, don't you?
Right.
If you're taking it and someone says, what are you doing? You say, look, this has happened. I'll take these for now. I'll get you some fresh ones in the morning.
Right. No, what I would do is go, I put these here, but this is the wrong tree for the wrong dead kid. I'm taking them to put it on the right one.
Or I bought these and left. I bought these.
Sorry, is this for Timmy? Articulated lorry. Oh, I'm little Jessica hit by a motorbike. Wrong incident. My bad. I'll just untie. Gone too soon, bear.
That's what I would do.
Fucking brutal.
And then if that person is like still pissed off with you, then they're in the wrong, and you look good if anything.
Or I bought these, left these there to pick up on the way home, and then this happened.
There's no dead kid. People are just assuming there is.
Oh my God, how scared are you
of all the bushes
missus?
to pick?
You know you're scared of your missus if you're stealing memorial flowers off a railing. That's when you know.
So what would you do? Would you just get home and be like, look, Laura,
I don't think it's being scared. I just think it's
the right thing to do.
the right thing to do.
It's okay, right, cool. We did nothing for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
So I'm all right turning up with nothing. Like, if you're in a very intense romantic relationship where you make sex bivouacs, like maybe there's a bit more like he made a little.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh.
Are we not allowed to talk about that?
Which?
The TP.
Oh yeah, no, you can.
He's very romantic. It's a surprise, honestly. Like he will steal from dead children's memorials, but
Lou's surprised that I'm a romantic man.
First Valentine's.
Adam
It was
Romantic,
astounding.
mate. That's my full name.
It was. They don't call him Adam
I
Romantic.
cleared my spare room out
couldn't
and
even
made
think of
a
anything.
teepee out of bamboo and bed sheets and
Oh, that's cool.
quilts
I like
and
genuinely.
flowers.
That's cool. Right, I'll be honest with you, right?
First Valentine's. What did you do, Eddie?
In this,
I took a Swansea.
I'll tell you. I took her down White Lane for a bit of revenge. Shit, right, in our relationship, right, this is right. There's definite role reversal, right? I am a bloke. I like being a bloke, but I'm in touch with my feminine side, and I'm quite romantic. She ain't. She's not romantic in the slightest, right? To the point, right? The other week we were being intimate, right? And I was down at the sharp end, yeah. 3-pronged attack, thumb, finger, tongue. All of a sudden, there's a fart, right? I look up to see these eyes wide open, and I think, I don't want her to be embarrassed by this. So I've just gone.
Macaulay Culkin.
Right? I've gone, it's okay, darling. And she's gone, that wasn't a fanny fart. You need to get out of there.
You got 3 seconds to leave the bedroom. Oh,
What was your
my
word?
God.
I think there might be a bit of luggage.
I feel like it's like in this situation and with this dilemma, I think it might be a waste to leave Lou Conran sat over there if you wanted to maybe
Oh my God!
come and say your piece.
I want to hear about the 3-pronged attack.
You would agree, wouldn't you, that you're not.
We need to get her a microphone, so she either needs
Come
to
here,
come and sit
come and sit here.
Co-
Come and
No, you can move that over there. That's going to be better, isn't it? Go on.
You're not.
This is former guest Lou Conran, as I'm sure a lot of our listeners remember. I can't remember what episode
Eddie's
number it was.
former girlfriend.
Lou is now
We were
single.
just sitting in the car having a sandwich, and I asked her genuinely, "Do you think I'm a manly man?" And she went, "You're fucking joking, aren't you?"
He's not. He's more of a woman than I am. Honestly, you are. And he rotates his cutlery.
Yeah, but that's,
Right. Who does that? What a weirdo. And also,
Rotate your cutlery.
yes, because he doesn't like the other ones on the bottom to be left out. What?
Do you know what? It sounds mental, but also quite sensible as well.
Don't.
don't
Make sure
want-
there's a little rotation
there's
going.
a rotation.
You don't
so
wanna-
that they
you don't
can't
wanna-
wear
so you
them
don't-
out.
Oh,
So-
so that, like the spoon you've just used goes to the back of
bottom.
the queue.
It
Sort
does
of
make
like that,
you
you
look
know?
mental, but also it does make sense.
It makes sense.
It's the least sexy thing I've ever heard. Come to bed and make love to me, Eddie. I'm just rotating the spoon.
No, it's like, come to bed and smell this, Eddie. Is what I usually get.
Get on that.
So you farted on his out of your bum hole onto his.
I think your silence.
Onto his
I think your
trident.
silence says it all, right?
Now,
But no,
no.
come on. We're generally right.
Yes.
And of the relationship, I am the more romantic of the. You're not.
Yes.
Thank
You
you.
are. Every time you.
Thank you.
Every time
Is
you
it?
tell me.
So just shush.
Mr. Romantic.
I'm gonna get murdered when I get home.
Every time you tell me that you love me or you want to say something nice, I inadvertently break wind or belch or something like
She
that
can't
because
do
I can't
it.
handle it.
She can't do it.
I can't handle somebody being nice to me.
It's not just you. I did mention this on the video that is coming out for a quiz. I was having sexual intercourse with my partner the other day.
What are we doing it? We were intimate, sexual intercourse. What happened to banging, guys?
See, that's the difference.
Eddie was
We're real
clattering
men.
into me and some wind shot out the old pipe.
Hey.
I was having sexual intercourse with my partner, and during it, she burst out laughing. And I said, "What are you laughing at?" And she said, "I just thought about how big your head is."
What the world?
We just finished once, and I looked up, and she went. And I was like, "You are fucking kidding me! You are kidding me!"
You've been in the north too long. Sickety boo! Oh, cracking banging.
both thumbs. Fucking hell,
To
Lou.
quote Steve Shaniaski, you're done, pal.
Yeah, the 2 thumbs up is literally that. Have I parked it properly? You've done really well. Oh my God. This has been a fun one. Shall we wrap it up with what we traditionally wrap up an episode
I
with?
have a word. Our main feature, title feature.
So, Dean Wicks, Sup, Adele, Danielle, Caroline, and Fenella. Fuck it. Can you have a word with my brother's ex-girlfriend? They broke up a month before Christmas, and the day after, she was messaging me asking if we could stay in touch, as she thinks I'm lovely to be around. I'm also moving near her in September when I start uni, and she is already making plans. Is this just friendly bits, or is it creepy? Cheers, lads.
She wants
Dean.
a revenge dick.
She's a revenge. Yeah, he's spot on.
She wanted a dick.
Spot on.
She wants to shag him so that she can go to her ex and be like, I shagged your brother. His dick's bigger than yours. His pubes are trimmed neater. His bum...
Do women use that as a dig?
I think they do, yeah.
His dick is
He's
bigger.
more manscaped. His bum hole is nowhere near as smelly. He's got better abs. His skin is lovely.
Oh, she's vindictive. He's got a better credit rating and he rotates his colouring, which I find to be sensible and not creepy and OCD-like.
That's what she wants. That's exactly what she wants, though.
What do you think? You don't mess
Yeah,
with...
no, it's a he's bang on. It's definite revenge bang.
I mean, your siblings, your friends, once they split up, it's a very tricky relationship, isn't it? Because what if the brother's been the wrong in the relationship ending, and she's nice, and you've always got on? Do you just have to like close that door emotionally and be like, "Be gone to me"?
You do.
You can still be mates.
You're
but
done.
You can still be mates, but you can't get involved in that side of.
No,
Have you ever done a revenge bang?
I can think you'd be mates either.
No, I'm not even talking about the revenge. No, I've not done a revenge bang.
I have.
I think it's tricky, just like I think it's just tricky, like still being like, hey, because you're not enemies or anything, but you do in a breakup. You have to pick a team, don't you? Really?
And he has to pick his brother.
Yeah.
It's
family, innit?
Unless he hates his brother and like there's a family rift, which there clearly isn't.
Eddie?
Well, if there's not a rift, you can still be mates. Still be mates.
It's just like I think the easiest thing to do is to let it go.
No,
but
but
I
I mean-
have done a
But you
revenge
can't
shag.
do. He can't go. He knows what the rules.
sounds
he
a
knows
bit-
what's happening there.
Yeah. You can be mates, but this is too matey.
That she's.
Yeah.
What?
She's-
wants some.
I feel like
he'll
you're dying
clearly-
to tell us the revenge bang. I can't.
He'll-
Everyone's watching, going, do the revenge
I remember
bang.
the
Well,
line.
he'll clearly get a phone call when he's pissed one night and go around there and do it.
Yeah,
He's
it's
gonna do it,
dangerous
isn't he?
territory.
It wasn't like an intentional revenge bang, but it definitely.
Do you remember the line you used to your ex's new fella?
Hang
in
on,
town?
boys. We've lost a bit of
No.
context here. What's?
I don't know what you're talking about. Like,
What?
genuinely don't know what you're talking
Well,
about.
hang on.
Your
let's-
revenge.
It was
bang.
great. It was.
You have to tell me off pod.
You were arguing and you shouted something to him and it wrote him off.
No, I don't know what you mean.
Okay.
Fire.
I honestly
Can I say it? It was great. I'm not going to say any names.
Go on, you can cut it out if it's wrong or whatever.
So they worked together, and he was being a bit aggy with you, and you went, "Yeah, but your bed sucked my dick, so fuck off."
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
I was there. You'd obviously had a drink.
Oh, I know.
Oh, Adam.
I know who you mean now. I'm not even talking about that one.
I was like, Adam, how could you possibly have said that? And gone, no recollection.
I very rarely remember anything when I'm drunk enough to say something like
But you
that.
know what? You remember, don't
my
you?
days.
Jesus.
I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That got tense.
yeah. I just didn't know what he was on about. Yeah, no. Do you know what? It's not the nicest thing I've ever said.
Yeah, but it was fire.
If you had the full context of that situation, you would absolutely.
I
be on
thought
my
that
side,
was definitely
100%.
getting cut out of the podcast, and
No.
it's definitely not.
No, it isn't. No. But the one I'm talking about is one of my ex-lovers. We
Did you summer with her in Chatsworth?
To be fair, not even I would have said that.
Adam.
one of my former romantic partners.
Yes.
We were on a night out. Me, her friend, and a guy, and it transpired that after an argument me and her had a week before, she had slept with this guy, and he now thought, because she was all over me on that night out, he was like, what the fuck's going on with you two? And I was like, why is he pissed off? And she was like, oh, well, when we had murder last week, I shagged him. So I went, do us a favour, just don't ever talk to me again. And I got off, which then caused an argument between them two again. So her mate followed me and was like, they're having murder. I want to carry on drinking. Can we go out? And I shagged her mate that night. Lovely stuff. And once after that as well, actually.
I think
monthly stuff.
I honestly think it's sort of, it's kind of fair game, isn't it?
Like,
a little bit.
It wasn't like I was
not
like to
ideal.
a mate like, hey, she's pissed me off. Let's go. Like, it was,
Madam,
her mate,
are you
instigated
interested in revenge?
Her mate instigated it. I don't know whether
Because I'm going down to White Hart Lane next weekend.
Yeah. I've got no idea whether my ex knows about that to this day.
Well, luckily, this isn't a Patreon episode. This one's going out on the internet forever.
But yeah. Happened that night, and then a few months. A few. What
the fuck argument was that?
I can't. I can't. But yeah, you know who the both are now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, this is
You look really disappointed there.
this has been a fun one. This has been a fun one. Don't think that we've done the breadth of the discussion like we've done today for a while, hasn't it? Like the Hunt Saboteur and then ending on a revenge bang story. It's been
Vintage.
It's been just
Vintage
leave, mate.
Haverford.
Your brother's ex. Just tell her to jog on.
Yeah.
There's lots of people she can be matey with. You're not that guy because it's going to
Or
ruin
ask
a
your
fucking
brother.
Christmas or two.
Speak to your brother and go, look. Just tell your brother about it. See, that's what he should do, and see how he feels. Go, look.
Who needs it?
Fucking, this girl's doing this, and I want to know
He's got a point.
how you feel about. And if his brother goes, lad, I don't want anything to do with it, and if you want to go there, fucking fill your boots. Because she wants to shag his brother. She wants to.
I just feel like there's like plenty more less emotionally stressful fish in the sea.
Yeah, but like it's got that added layer of it being a bit wrong, Annie, which is a bit of a turn on. So maybe he's into that.
Nice one.
you know what I mean?
Romance.
Yeah.
See?
He is. He's a
They call
romantic.
him Mr. Romantic. Delivantas.
Make her a TP. Eddie,
Yes.
pleasure. Lou, the three-pronged attack. I will not forget.
At least she didn't shit on your hand.
Oh, God.
That's another day.
And on that bombshell, go and check out Eddie's book, Naughty Boy. Sign up to our Patreon. Go and watch Adam's special on YouTube. It's been a pleasure.
It's been
Hasn't it?
great.
Thanks
Yeah.
for listening. And yeah.
There's still merch available, haveawordpod.com, anyone who hasn't got it yet. But you would already know about that. The big thing is patreon.com/haveawordpod. Extra episode every week. Up to 48 hours early access to this public stuff. And plenty of other bonus content coming your way, including pissed up episodes and Carl's quiz coming early next month. Bye, Felicia.
Bye, Felicia.